What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Game Over Greggy Show. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller. Alongside me, as always, the pride of Long Island, Colin Moriarty.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you, too. I see a little too much of you, though.
Your beard's not in that creepy state yet, so I like it.
I'm going to rub it on the mic.
The old Mike Seth trick. Over here, the producer, Nick Scarpino.
I'd like to be called He Only Does Everything, Nick.
That's his name. You can't know.
And you don't.
I do everything.
Just once Colin would like to sleep with your wife, but it doesn't work.
Colin can have my wife tonight if he wants. He can come home with me.
Oh, doctor, this show's getting interesting.
I only do everything.
It's quid pro quo.
Literally. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't make those kinds of decisions
If
for
we're
one
swapping,
other person.
I mean, a man would. I'm just saying. I'm putting that out there.
Colin is a modern man with a modern woman. He's not going to go in there and just make decisions for her.
Should we have hung the other picture that was there last week?
If you want it. Do you want to go?
Let's just keep going.
Yeah,
Okay.
No big deal. And then, at the other end of the table, the pure one, Tim Geddes.
I'm pure.
How you doing, Tim?
I'm pure.
We haven't seen a lot of you. You just got back.
I did.
You were in
It's been a
Austin,
while.
Texas down there.
Yeah.
They got thick paper towels.
They have ridiculous paper towels, and their street lights are sideways.
Sideways street lights. If you're just joining us for the first time, the show is simple. Four best friends come together each and every week, each bringing a random topic to the table. We don't tell each other what our topic is. Then we discuss it for an hour and a half. You love it. You get the show two ways. One, every Friday we put it up on Bandcamp for $1. You go to GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com. You give us $1 or whatever you want. There it is. A high-quality MP3. You get to go listen to it while you jog, while you work in the factory, putting together the tin cans, getting ready to take on the Nazis.
Tin can factory.
Cereal.
We have a vibrant tin can economy in the
That's where
United
we're
States.
at.
Vibrant. Or you wait till Monday. We post it on YouTube, GameOverGreggy.com. That's youtube.com/GameOverGreggy for free, and you get to watch the video version and enjoy yourself. Are we going to iTunes, Colin?
Yes, we are.
One day we will go to iTunes. This is a question I've been getting a lot. What we're going to do is go to iTunes as like an anthology, correct?
Yes, so I think what we'll do it on Bandcamp, too, and we'll do it everywhere we can. Amazon maybe, and maybe, Android and stuff, but every 10 episodes, we'll just put them together into an album, and then we'll put them up for half price, actually. So even if you're listening to it on YouTube now and you want to kind of wait a little bit and you don't really know if you're interested in buying an episode on Bandcamp, well, you can buy them half off when we put up 10 at a time.
Right.
So yeah.
Now, if you're asking yourself, why don't you just put it on iTunes right away? You don't listen to Super Knocking Boots. Of course, Super Knocking Boots, a relationship podcast they do with some other folks. It's a whole deal to try to put up one track. If you put up something longer than 10 minutes or 15 or whatever, iTunes they'll automatically put it up for $10. And then you have to manually email them and ask them to dial a price. It's a huge hassle. So we don't do that. We put it on Bandcamp. If it's that big of a deal to get it there and get it into iTunes, you download it from Bandcamp, then you drag it into iTunes.
Yeah,
Simple.
not the end of the world.
Not
we
the
do
end of the world.
appreciate
Thank
your
you.
patronage, though. We are getting actually quite a good response on Bandcamp, so
Yeah.
we do very much appreciate that. But yeah, stay tuned for iTunes and Amazon and Android and all those things. We'll be there soon.
Yep.
5 more
And
episodes, I think, after this. Right?
I believe, unless something has gone horribly wrong, T-shirts are shipping. That's good.
Yes, they should be shipping.
If you went to districtlines.com/GameOverGreggy and you purchased a pre-order for your shirt should be shipping, should be on your way. Make sure you take a photo of it, tweet it at me, we'll retweet it. And what did I do?
You're just like, your shirt should be shipping, should be
Did I put all that on there? Or
No, I just thought it was funny.
Did I do good, or are you making fun of me?
You're good.
You did a great job.
You did real good.
Okay, I do real good work
You did
around
real
here.
good.
All right, who's starting this week with topics?
It doesn't
Me.
matter.
I'm going to start.
Tim's
Good.
gonna go.
Oh, here we go.
90s girl crushes.
90s girl
yeah.
crushes. Ooh.
Nicole
That's easy.
Edgert.
Yeah,
You guys remember Nicole Edgert?
Yeah,
Which
of
one
course.
was she the Baywatch
She
one?
came from Charles in Charge. She was the oldest child in Charles in Charge.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
Was
Then
this like
she went-
91? Because I don't know
No,
what you're
Charles in
talking
Charge I
about.
think was 80s, maybe late 80s, maybe early 90s,
okay.
but I don't think so. That was when I first discovered her. Then she became a Baywatch girl after some enhancements that she had gotten to her upper torso area.
Good.
But was your crush
My crush was because of Charles in Charge.
great? Okay, so you're not
I
some
love it.
creepy.
She was so unbelievable. Well, I was young too. I was way younger.
Well, that's how crushes work. I want to
Yeah.
make sure we're all on the same page here. We're not just some kind of lusted.
No, we're not-
There's
we're
something
not-
going on. What do you know,
We're not.
baby?
We're not Colin Moriarty. The
Yeah, I'm depraved, bro.
you're just disgusting. I wish they could hear the conversation in the car right over here.
That was the genesis of this
I wish they
podcast.
could do that. It's X-rated, but no. I mean, I was in love with her. She was one of the only people whose posters I had in my room back in the day, and it was Nicole Edgert. And I remember she was like, it was one of the original power couples, right? So it was Nicole Edgert and Corey Haim were like together.
I don't even remember that. You're old.
Yeah. It was this whole thing, man. And then in Pop Magazine, all these things they had was like Corey and Nicole, they're the bomb. And they kind of broke up for a while. And then one was like, all of a sudden everyone was doing cocaine, and I don't know why, but that was the thing. And then as her career derailed after Baywatch, because life after Baywatch for everyone is really, really hard.
Right.
It's not easy.
They lived hard.
She eventually started doing softcore stuff on like
Whoa,
HBO
really?
with Corey
Oh,
Haim.
What?
They were like together. They were starring in these movies, but they were a little.
Wait,
they were
Corey
more.
Haim was in softcore porn movies?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, not Feldman. Feldman.
Yeah, I
like,
know who
found
Feldman
God
is.
and,
Yeah,
like, was
yeah.
that what it is, but
Well, that
Corey
didn't
Haim,
happen for a while, but yeah.
They were in a movie. I forget what it's called, but yeah, it was.
It's always one of the two.
Between two
Softcore
Corys.
porn or Finding God.
It's a thin line, razor's
Yeah.
edge between.
That's
those.
what I mean. That's what happens when you. Those are the two recommendations when you're addicted to cocaine that they say at the treatment facility. They say either you're going to porn or.
Nick Scarpino loves cocaine. Not doing cocaine, just talking.
I've never done cocaine. True story.
Never done. He has never done cocaine, but he will bring it up at least 4 times a day.
It's
Have
a
you guys
Four
noticed this?
times a day.
It's a
At
really-
least 4 times. It's a fact.
It's a really cool word to say. Colin, say it for me.
Cocaine.
Look at how
yeah.
just saying it makes you cool.
Yeah. What?
Not doing it. Doing it makes you
Smoking
weird.
makes you look cool.
I know.
Yeah, smoking.
I
Does
know.
make you look cool.
You used to smoke. Remember when
I
that?
used
You
to be
were
a
cool.
smoker. I used to be a very hard smoker, hardcore.
Yeah, now you just hardcore drink it.
Well, you know.
Who
it's
sang that
substitute.
song? Why can't I think of it? Who sang
It's,
cocaine?
Clapton.
Cocaine.
Yeah, Clapton.
No,
Yeah,
it was Cream. I don't think it was Clapton. I
Oh
think
yeah,
it was
Cream.
song.
Yeah. So
Okay.
well, same. Yeah, same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, I was actually listening to that with my girlfriend, and we were driving back home on Long Island, and I was like, how is this song even allowed on the radio? Like, it's awesome. I'm glad that we're allowed to listen. It's a great song.
The only thing I can glean or think of is that they didn't really know how devastating cocaine was at the time.
I think it was just a different age. You didn't have all these damn restrictions. And
That's
for some
true.
reason, it's grandfathered in. Like every
Yeah,
time you
Cream
listen
got grandfathered into
to, anytime you no, but I mean like right now, like right. Remember like we always make fun of the Everclear song, right? Where it's like pecan, like they blur out like normal words. You're just like, you suck.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Yeah, the Everclear song is a huge joke because of all the chicken noises and shit in it.
You were talking a second ago. You and your girlfriend. You said we were driving around Long Island. Have we ever talked on any of these shows that you don't have a driver's license,
No.
nor can you operate a motor vehicle?
No, we could talk about that. Yeah, we could talk about that.
What
I think it's come
is-
up before on Beyond, probably. But
Is that
Yeah, sure,
is
probably.
that because you don't want to be in the system?
no, has nothing to do with that. That's a logical conclusion. That's a logical conclusion. I have an ID though.
Because I know you when it comes
He's
to
off
like,
the grid.
I know you when it comes to your theories on being off the grid. Like you don't like giving the government any more information about yourself or letting them have any more access to you than you deem necessary.
Yeah, exactly. I was really uncomfortable when I got my ID in California that you have to give your thumbprint. I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I made a fuss about it at DMV. No, like you could just do it. Or
And the
not get
lady's
an
like,
ID.
I make minimum wage to take. I don't know. I can't talk to anybody about this. You sir are gonna walk out and have a nice life, and I'm stuck here.
The first time I saw the thumbprint thing was going through customs in the airport. And you can't really tell those guys no. They're like,
Oh,
put
no,
your,
no,
put your
you
thumb
said-
on the thing, and I'm like,
I wouldn't fuck around.
I
with
don't
those
want
guys.
to because I don't. That is the one thing that kind of freaks me out a little bit is that now everywhere you go, there is 100% proof that you were there. Like you, there's no plot, there's no deniability anymore. If you went and did something and you're like, oh, I don't know if I should have done that or whatever, someone can absolutely be like, no, you were because I have your fingerprint. Like you were there. Like the iPhone.
Like when you
right?
murdered someone.
If you're gonna murder someone, if you're gonna take them out to the woods and like cut their heads off or something like that. But the iPhone, for instance, now
one.
think about this for a second though. You put your fingerprint on there, it scans it in, it won't unlock the phone, and then every single email, anything you do on that phone, it has to be you, right? I mean, that's pretty.
That's a good thing.
Or it could be someone cutting your finger off. And,
Yeah, that's the scary thing. Has
No,
anybody tried
iPhones
that
don't
yet?
work with that. Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
is it
How
in
is that
heat?
possible?
Within the first couple days, they like somebody.
Somebody cut off their finger and tried.
No, I don't know how they figured it out, but there was like a big thing on the internet.
I remember you could use your dick. That was a big thing on the internet.
No, that's
Yeah.
I said that, and
No, that's a real
that's
thing.
a real thing.
That was, everybody immediately jumped. I just seen.
Yeah, you know where I'm starting with this.
Yeah, she was a big fan of the dicks on the iPhones, like trying to figure out if it could happen, because she got her new iPhone when we were in Texas a long
Yeah.
time ago.
How do you do that? How do you unlock the thing while you're driving though?
Well, I don't think you do it for practical purposes. You're doing it
You
to
do it
see
for,
if you
to
can
be
do
funny.
it.
So there's not an app that like when you open up the because I don't have iPhone 5s. When you open it up, it doesn't say like fingerprint and then like a mushroom head.
No, you have to put your.
No.
You
It's-
never
that'd be
see
awesome.
it. You never see it.
Put your mushroom head, your unique snowflake mushroom head.
Well,
on
they
this
say
screen.
fingerprints, the rings from trees, and mushroom heads are those are the most unique things on the planet.
Not a snowflake, huh?
Nope.
Snowflake, a strong fourth on that list.
Snowflake, maybe top 10 if we're being
Interesting.
nice.
All right.
I mean, there's other things too. Tim's a beautiful, unique snowflake.
So why didn't you ever learn to drive? It seems
I did learn to drive. So when I was on Long Island, I used to. It's funny because like I think about this now. Like I used to drive my dad's Xterra. He taught me how to drive in that thing or whatever, and I would just gun it. I think I used to.
What is it? Is that next to a big?
It's an SUV.
Okay.
But like I remember very clearly driving down this road on Long Island. It's like a wooded road or whatever, and drive. I used to get like I could not line up the car with like the middle divider line. Or
Yeah.
whatever. Like it always seemed like I was too on top of it. You have to get used to kind of riding.
Right.
on top of it. And like, so I would ride like almost in the shoulder. And I remember my dad. I remember I just like there's like these trees and shit like out like in the street, and I just dragging them along the car. My dad's like, "What are you doing?" But ultimately, so this is the way it went. Like,
so what do you do if you get pulled over?
What?
If you're driving a car right now, you get.
I
pulled
don't drive
over.
a car.
He doesn't drive.
But you don't drive
ever.
anymore.
No. So
do you have people that drive you? Places?
Well, I don't really need to. Like, well, I've actually. It's funny because I've had Greg drive me places twice in like the last 2 weeks. But apart from that, like Greg and I lived together for like over a year, where I bothered him one time
for the dentist. That one time,
because I have a dentist, a very specific dentist in Daly City, and I don't want to change. I like him. That's where I'm going, and I had to pay for like $100.
New In-N-Out?
Huh?
Is it the dentist new In-N-Out?
No, he's near Saramonte.
We probably should stop narrowing it down. Until he pays us, no one gets a free ride in here.
So here's
Except
the,
DC,
but here's the story. So
Coke, and bourbons.
So as a lot of people do, depending on your age, I went to college when I was 17, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in New York, you can't drive, at least you couldn't when I was growing up, until you were 18, unless you had a junior's license, which meant that you could drive to work and you could drive to school. All my friends had, so the big thing was getting your junior's license. You had to take driver's ed to do that, and then we would just drive wherever we wanted. That was like the whole thing. It was like everyone had junior's licenses, no one gave a flying fuck, everyone just drove everywhere anyway. But my school was right down the street from me, and my work was not too far away from me either. I worked at a deli. So I love
your story so much.
So I would just walk to.
They're like Seinfeld plots every single time.
So I'd walk to school. It would take like 5 minutes, not even. And then I used to a lot of little thing that people don't know about me. I used to BMX like pretty hardcore in high school.
I didn't know that.
And so
you take like sweet ramps and jumps.
Yeah. So I had a Redline, which is like a really nice bike, so I used to bike to work. And then when I was 17, I moved to Boston to go to college, and so I missed the whole transition period to getting a license. But the thing in Boston, the notorious thing in Boston, is that you don't want a car there. You don't want anything to do with a car there. Because it's a fucking shit show, especially for 6 months
terrible,
when
right?
it's snowing everywhere.
Yeah, you've told me about that.
Yeah, so like they'll like in Boston and probably in Chicago too, they have big things like huge dumpster looking things that will take up like a lot of a street, probably like 5 parking spots where the plows dump their snow in order to melt it because it gets so crazy there's nowhere to put snow anymore after like a few months. So like it's just a bad.
Why do people live there? Why would you live in that environment?
So it's just
the tundra.
So it's just bad. So anyway, I lived there and I didn't need a car. There, I didn't want a car. I had no money.
Sure.
No reason to do anything. So basically, what I'm saying is, I aged out of this thing where I was eager to learn how to drive, and before I knew it, I moved to San Francisco, and when I was 22, and again didn't need a car, and I still don't need a car. So I just never learned how to drive. So, now this is a big point of contention with my girlfriend. Don't get me wrong. This is a big point.
There's no way Cheryl's like.
Oh no, she fucking hates it. This. The thing that I always tell her though, she's like, you gotta learn how to drive. She always bought. I'm like, I know how to drive. Like it's not that hard. It's just like. As you get older, you kind of get a fear of it, and I don't really want to do it now.
What do you mean? As you get older, you get a fear of it.
When you haven't done it, when you have not had to do it to
I will come to your defense on this one because my wife, who grew up in LA, used to drive from Camarillo to all over LA every day of her life till she was about 16, 19 or 20 when she moved out of that. This dog is he's going.
Portillo's here. He's excited to be here. He's showing his toy.
There he is. It's a good toy too. He's had that for a while. She will not drive. My wife. She it started as a joke first of like, oh, my husband, you're the man. You drive me around. It's fun. I'll DJ whatever. And she has pretty good taste in music, although sometimes she plays Prince too much, if there is such a thing. But now,
Raspberry Beret. Is they playing? Oh, I love.
I don't like that one. That's not my favorite.
Raspberry Beret.
All right, if you sing it, it's lovely. It's delicious.
I gotta stop because I'm so good and so in tune that we'd get flagged.
We're gonna
for
get
that
flagged for that. Yeah, don't do that. Don't go that far. But she will not. She actually has a thing now where she hasn't driven in so long. And driving in San Francisco is not very easy, by the way. I mean, there's a lot of hills. There's a lot, like parking is ridiculous in the city. You're gonna hit something. Just get over it. And she won't. She's right there with you. She's like, I don't think I need to do that ever again. And I'm like, ever again. Because we're in our 30s, so there's a good possibility we're going till 90 maybe. That's
yeah. I mean, it's
years.
just one of those things. I know people like my girlfriend and I get into quarrels about this where I'm like, I just don't want to drive. Like, I don't ask you to do anything. Like, she's like, but I drive you. We drive to the supermarket and stuff. But I'm like, I don't ask you to do that. Like, before you moved back here, because you lived in Pennsylvania for a year to do her internship, I was totally self-sustaining. I would do everything I needed to do by myself without a car. You know, like, it's convenient that she drives. That's great.
Yeah.
But then there's this whole thing where I'm like, I'll eventually have to get my license, right? I'm gonna have to do.
not necessarily.
But I'm gonna have to do it eventually.
I mean, I
don't
say
know.
you've gone this far. Why not?
Let it
Just go.
ride.
Let it ride.
But I set down rules with her where I'm like, there's certain things that I'm not going to do, right? I'm not driving in San Francisco, ever. I'm not driving anywhere around San Francisco, from maybe Foster City in the south all the way to, let's say, Marin County in the north. And
Wait. These are the hypothetical rules.
Yeah.
You're going to lay these down.
No,
When-
I
when-
already did. I already told her. I'm like, so.
Well, you don't drive. Period. Now.
Well, no. So if I get a license, because she's like, get a license, and then we can split drive. But I'm like, you don't understand. You don't get it. I'm not doing that because it just has no practical purpose here. Because I want to move eventually into the middle of the country. I have no fear of driving in the middle of fucking North Dakota. I don't give a fuck. You know, that's
Sure.
fine. But I don't want to drive around.
No one
here.
does.
Now here's the X factor to all this. From 2008 to 2011, I owned a scooter.
That's right.
Had an
You and Damon used to like scooter brigade in every day.
I had an M license.
Yeah.
And
You still do.
just
that.
drove a scooter around. It actually expired. Yeah, like.
You can re-up it though.
Yeah.
Easily. You just go re-up it.
So that's the most ironic thing, is that the fear of getting hurt in a car, all that kind of stuff, didn't stop me from driving a scooter that I could lift off the ground. That I used to drive like 65 miles
Which,
an hour
by
down
the way,
Bayshore Boulevard.
Way more dangerous. Than
Way
a
more
car.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Statistically speaking.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Way more
You're supposed
dangerous.
to drive it on the highway, right, and get honked at and get in fights and stuff.
Which is illegal, by the way. I don't think you're supposed to drive those on the highway.
So
Do I still have my license?
I don't know. That's just where it
Okay,
is.
that was a good aside. My '90s crush. I'm gonna give you.
You brought it up.
I know. I
you should still have
is
the M on your
Whoa,
license.
whoa. Let me see this thing. Yeah.
That's not good. I had a faux hawk.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
it was really
you did.
weird. It was kind of strange.
How old is this photo?
It's like first year I got here. I was like
Wow.
8 years old.
Holy shit.
I mean,
Yeah.
you look good. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying.
You look so
Alright.
Italian in this.
It was a little tan, yeah. Plus the printing doesn't help out there. It gives me a little more olive to my complexion.
No, but my M license was provisional, so that's why it's
So
not
you
on
didn't actually go take the test. You
No.
didn't do the 8. You didn't have to do that.
No, you remember, so in California, you can take the written test every year to re-up your M license, but there are just certain restrictions. And then to get it permanently, where you can drive, like, in another state or something, you have to go take. So I used to
I
actually...
didn't have to take the test. I had to take the test at the safety course that I took.
Oh, yeah, I
It was
didn't
way
take that.
easier than doing
Mark
it at
Ryan
the-
tried to get me to do that, but I didn't
You
want to.
should have. It was way easier than
Yeah,
doing
but you
it
have to,
anywhere else.
like, use, like, 250s or whatever, right? Like, I
Yeah.
don't even know how to use a
Well,
bike like that.
they teach you there. You go and they teach you how to do that. That's the whole safety course. It's fun. It's terrifying though.
Not
I'll be
something
honest with you
Colin
guys right now. So I started riding motorcycles because I was like, out of a practical need. Like in San Francisco, it's impossible to park your car. I had no money back then, and I just wanted to be able to go home, park my car somewhere in between cars, i.e. a motorcycle in between cars, and get out and go up to the thing. And then I thought it was cool. I did this thing. So I went and got my license, and it just never, like, I was like, it's going to be cool. I'm going to immediately stick to it. And it was the first time in my life I tried something, and I was like, I'm not that into this. But I kept going because I was like, I'm going to finish this.
You dumped a bike, right, when you were driving?
I did dump a bike once.
Yeah.
So I rode for a while. I tried. I mean, Mark Ryan's a phenomenal human being, by the way. He's actually probably one of the best human beings I've ever known in my life.
He's a good person.
I don't know why he continues to consort with the likes of me. He still invites me
You
to
guys
fights.
hang out?
We do every once in a while. I'll watch UFC fights with him every once in a while. He invited me to the last Anderson Silva fight. And I'm pissed that I didn't go because I don't know if you guys saw that
Yeah,
gif.
that's when he broke his leg.
broke
That's
his
why
leg.
you wanted to go.
You know who
See
broke his
horrible.
leg? A guy from Long Island. Yeah. Ba-ba-ba.
Bah, bah, bah! The Long Island Siren.
Anyway, so yeah, no, I was riding, and I was riding up to Alice's, which if anyone rides motorcycles in Northern California, you've heard of Alice's. It's a great bar where people ride on up on Sundays, and any kind of bikes are welcome. So you see Harleys, you see imports, you see Ducatis. You see
How many
Japanese.
scooters you see out there?
You don't see a lot of scooters, mostly because it's hard for the scooter to actually make it up some of the hills. You need a little more power to do that, but you'll see a few, I guess, every once in a while. More power. I think I'm actually being nice. I don't think I've ever seen a scooter there, but if you've been to Alice's and seen a scooter, tweet at me and let me know and show me a picture of that because it's cool. It'd be cool to see that. But yeah, so we were going, and he had called me in the morning. I was like, it's kind of raining. Are you comfortable riding in the rain? I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
I can do whatever. I haven't, when you don't know what the consequences are, you're fearless for anything. So I went. We had a great breakfast at Alice's, and then I started going, and I started sprinkling a little bit. Well, what I didn't really understand, or maybe I didn't pay attention to that point of my test, was, when you're in a car, you have 4 wheels. And so there's 4 opportunities for your car to have friction with the road. So if one of your tires loses friction, you have 3 more tires or 2 more tires, depending on what you're hitting, that can actually compensate for that. On a motorcycle, if one of your tires loses, you're done. You're out. And so they tell you to anything painted, watch out for, which I kind of glossed over. I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense, but like, what am I? I'm on a road. I'm not going to hit a painted line until I kind of veered just a little bit over, and the marks on the road that are painted were wet, and they just newly wet. And my front tire just lost traction before I knew it. I was skidding across the road. And thankfully, like Alice is, they have those steep drop offs, like winding up and winding down. This wasn't one of them. I just kind of slid over, and it was only going 20 miles.
Did you
an
hurt
hour.
yourself?
No, I didn't. Surprisingly, I was wearing all the pads. You're supposed to wear armor, like protective armor. So I was wearing Mark Ryan's jacket, and I had the pants that were like these Kevlar, like textile pants that I had. And they weren't Kevlar, but they were like that hard.
You're getting shot in the legs just to see if they work.
RoboCop the shit out of him. No, I went down. I was wearing these textile pants, which are the opposite of leather. You can get leather, you can get the more synthetic materials. And I chose those because I wasn't sure if I really wanted to be a part of it. And I wore a nice hole through them. I wore a hole through my boot that I was wearing because I wasn't wearing proper riding boots, because proper riding boots are made out of a harder material that can actually skid. And I wore, my boots had strings on them, and I just wore right through the laces of those. And I got up and I was fine. And like the cool thing about riding motorcycles, and I'm not sure, I haven't ridden them all over the place, but in Northern California, it's a ridiculously cool community of people. It's a bunch of people that no matter who they are or who you are, they don't know you. They have a respect for you, and they do this cool thing when you're riding.
Yeah, they do the point.
Where they'll do this. They'll just put 2 fingers out as they're riding by you as a show of just like camaraderie and respect. And as I literally was getting up, 3 guys stopped. Just, are you okay? Stay down if you need to stay down. I'm like, no,
if
I'm
you
good.
ever fucking point one of us again, we'll know you're not one of us.
You're not ride or die. No, but they helped me up, and we got up, and the only thing I felt bad about was it was Mark Ryan's bike. He had a 350, a DRZ 350, which is kind of like a dirt bike, which is another reason why, I mean, kind of fatter tires would have helped me out a little bit. But I loved the look of that bike. And they came up, and he came back because he was like, well, I didn't see you for 10 minutes, so I assumed you went down. And I looked at his bike, and I was just like, dude, I'm so sorry, because it was bent. Like the frame was a little bent, and the handlebars were a little bent. Bent it back, rode it home, and they fixed it, and I paid him for it. And that's the last time I got on a bike. And it's not the last time that was like $200.
Oh, okay.
I mean, older bikes.
Did you bring it to Mission Motorcycle?
What's that?
Mission Motorcycle?
I don't know where he brought it to, actually. I think he brought it some place down in South San Francisco.
That was a stolen bike.
I know. He told Mark Ryan, being the stand-up guy that he was like, don't worry about it.
No,
and I'm like, absolutely not. That's not. I'm paying you for everything. Like, tell me, take it to the best place you can find it.
Yeah.
I'll pay you for whatever it is. I don't care. This is ridiculous. And I think he was like, but the bike's only worth like, $700.
Yeah, I remember when he bought that bike. It had
$1,000.
like a heinous paint job on it.
Oh no, it was beautiful.
It was
pink
like a
and
very
blue.
early 90s.
It was neon pink and neon blue. It was amazing. Google DRZ 350. I don't know how many years Suzuki made that, but they had some beautiful colors in the early 90s. So that was that. Not to say I would never get back on that train. I actually liked it enough, but I was like this close to buying a bike, then that happened, and then eventually I decided to get married. And then once you get married, all your disposable income is gone. No, it's not even that. It's like you need a couch, not a bike. Oh, you can get a motorcycle, cool, or we can get a couch and a dining room table.
Sack of potatoes.
He's doing his like WWE drops on these toys he wants.
Just real quick as an aside, and we'll wrap up the motorcycle side conversation. It was just funny watching Mark Ryan, because I know Mark Ryan very well. I've known him for 10 years. And I like when I was an intern, I sleep on his floor and stuff like that. I go way back with Mark Ryan. But it was funny watching him get into motorcycles out of nowhere. And
I didn't know him like that. Ever since I've ever known him, I saw him with the Shadow of the Colossus, reflector on the back of his helmet, the Wanderer handle, and he was there. Man.
Yeah,
he
like
just chilling.
he used to drive like a beautiful Pontiac, like really beautiful car.
For people at home, that's not any of us. That's Portillo playing with the toy.
Last week he's so adorable, and everyone on the internet loves him. So don't even start picking.
Everyone on the internet doesn't have to fucking live with him. That's the.
Oh yeah, he's so much inconvenience on your life.
He just doesn't stop being annoying though. He never stops.
He's a dog. He's doing dog things. Look at him right now. He's so. I'm not even looking at him. He's cute. He's not even doing anything right now.
All right. What was the question? What was the question at hand?
90s.
You're 90. I got mine also.
Okay,
I'm gonna have a tie. I'm gonna say Tiffany Amber Thiessen, of course.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, of course.
And then Courtney Thorne Smith. You remember this one?
Which one was
No.
she?
She was the blonde who is now on According to Jim, right? And she was on Melrose Place. I'm gonna Google this to make sure.
I'm gonna Google it. Courtney Thorne. It sounds familiar.
Courtney Thorne Smith.
Fuzzies.
Anyways, Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
What was she
right?
on in the 90s?
Melrose Place, as
Was
I
she
just
the
said.
wife in According to Jim?
Yeah, now she's older.
Okay. No,
I mean,
she's-
obviously,
she's
that's
not
how
like
that's
that.
how it works. She gets older.
Yeah.
Courtney Thorne Smith. Make sure I'm talking about the right one here. Make sure I'm not screwing anything up. And yep, that's her.
There you go.
Yeah. So she was into Billy on Melrose Place. But yeah, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, of course, I think everyone in the world had a crush on. Sure, that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Saved by the Bell.
Oh,
is
yeah,
one of the
she
things
was
I
hot.
missed out on just because I'm
A little young. You're a little young, aren't you?
Yeah. That's incredible.
How are you too young for Saved by the Bell and not too young for Boy Meets World? They're not that far away from each other.
I think they are.
Well, no, like Saved by the Bell is like 88 to 93.
I was
Boy Meets
-1.
World is like 93 to 2000. Right?
Yeah.
So they're really kind of.
I guess there was
There's
not.
a gap there.
Was there a Gap?
Yeah.
But Saved by the Bell was
Saved by the Bell was
syndicated.
syndicated.
For so
That's what I was
long.
gonna say.
Yeah, I don't know. Just never
Never worked for you.
worked.
By
for
the
me.
way, underrated from Saved by the Bell. Tiffany Amber Thiesen's fucking
That's the
sexy
thing.
as hell.
Well, it wasn't even
Lisa Turtle though was hot too.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think that she got a whole lot of credit for being hot because she was overshadowed. Much like Slater was probably a very attractive man to a lot of people, but Zach was obviously
I
was
really
like
love
the
Zach,
cream of the
though.
crop.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's the thing. We're talking about crushes here. You have these
wait.
crushes. You don't even know what to do these feelings at that time.
Now, if that is the girl from Summer School,
It is.
starring Mark Harmon,
Yes, it is.
I
It is the girl, yeah.
had a ridiculous crush on her
Right?
back in the day.
Look at that
Yes,
picture.
Yeah, that's
Summer School
I've never
is-
seen that photo of her.
that is an amazing photo. It's
God.
that's a great blue bathing suit. It's a lovely color,
Courtney Thorne-Smith.
aquamarine.
Look for this, blue bathing
She
suit.
was so hot in that movie. She was so hot. She just had that
She was like that aloof, hot surfer girl.
she was the Southern California aloof hot surfer girl. Absolutely,
yep.
that was her.
She
would just
that's
walk
the
in
one.
and-
That's the one with Kirstie Alley, right?
Yeah,
She's the
that
other
was
one.
that was when Kirstie Alley was like smoking hot too.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
was
But
good
I'm not
looking.
even saying. But it doesn't. Courtney Thorne-Smith, who's Mark Harmon's student in that, makes a play at him, right? And
Yes.
he's like, no.
He's like, no.
Yeah.
And
He's
you know,
a
he was a
stand-up
stand-up guy. Yeah. That movie. Do you remember Summer School?
Yeah, of
Colin?
course. I love that. Yeah, I love it. It's so. I love the way that begins because you can kind of feel that movie the way that the teacher's kind of remorse at the beginning of that.
Yeah, I love
how
it.
He's so excited to get the fuck out of there,
And they're
he
just tracking him down. Everyone's hiding and like jumping behind bushes and screeching out, and he gets stuck in. Like
Was he like
they
the
wouldn't
gym
plan
teacher?
Summer School well ahead of time,
I
right?
know.
They
They're
left it to
planning
the
it.
day before it starts, and they're like, "Shoot, we need a teacher."
Was he the teacher in that? Or
He
I mean, I'm
was
sorry.
the
Was he the gym teacher?
gym
in that?
teacher?
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And they got him to teach. I forget what class.
I'm bringing up for comparison's sake how I still think Courtney Thorne-Smith incredibly attractive.
Yeah,
right
she's
now.
hot, but this picture.
Well, I know she's
No, when she
super-
she was like 18, 19. She had that Farrah Fawcett
there,
way.
there she
So
is in
good.
Back to School, or not Back to School. Jesus, I'm stupid.
That's
Summer
Dolphin's
School.
Quest.
Is it?
Oh no, that
No.
is
That'd be
that
also
is-
she's,
she's
also
coming
back
into
to school
stuff.
doing the triple
that is
Lindsay.
Back to School. Because he had like that baller house on the in like Malibu.
Yeah.
And you were
yeah,
like,
yeah,
on a
she-
teacher's
yeah,
salary?
Yeah, right,
That's awesome.
amazing. But no, I had a crush on her. Like she was this down chick in Melrose Place, right? She wasn't crazy. Melrose Place, well later she was, of
Well,
course.
yeah,
but
you
like Melrose Place, of course, a soap opera at night there. Go ahead.
Were you? Because I always equated Melrose Place to Beverly Hills 90210.
Right.
They were on right after each other.
Yes.
And I
Which-
never watched Melrose Place.
Oh, see, it was like it just rolled together.
Really?
I was batting out of my league. I was way too young for Melrose Place, but I was still watching it.
I used to watch it too because my older sister watched it. I watched 90210 and Melrose Place. I also watched Party of Five.
If you want to talk about like what these crushes,
Matt Fox, Party of Five, is he in that?
yeah, of course, Matt Fox, Party of Five. What do you think?
I get him. There was another one. There was another show around that time with the girl from Lost in Space. But that might have been Party of Five.
Yes. it
Was
is
that Party of Five?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Claire Danes was in one of them. My So-Called Life. That's the
So-Called
other
Life,
one I
yeah.
get confused with Party of Five.
That's on MTV.
Are they
Really?
completely different? I don't know why.
My So-Called Life's awesome too.
And it
Was
was
it
like
good?
one season. It was like one of those like short-lived,
How long did Party
awesome.
of Five go? I just remember the guy from
Party of
Really
Five was
long.
on for probably 6 or 7
The guy from
years.
Heroes was in Party of Five, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
guy that played the cop. Yeah.
Now you've derailed my thought process.
You were saying something about Melrose Place and how it was an adult.
Oh, if
TV
you want to
show.
talk about like crushes coming to fruition, Tiffany Amber Thiessen when she went to 90210, because she had been Kelly Kapowski forever on 90210, and you're like, oh, I have a crush on her. That's
Kelly
cool.
Kapowski.
Saved by
And
the
then
Bell.
she,
Saved by the
I'm
Bell.
sorry, and then she went to 90210, and like the teaser shots they released, she was like the bad girl who smoked drugs next
Yeah,
to
I
Randy.
remember- I
And she
remember-
like had her thing was like she was in like a bra and panties, putting on a dress. She's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I remember-
I need to watch. I remember racing home from school that
Wasn't
day.
her first episode? 'Cause I've seen almost. I think I've seen every episode of 90210. Wasn't her first episode her smoking a J like
Yeah.
in the bedroom at the window?
Yeah.
I was like, what in the God's name? It didn't resonate with me. It didn't make any sense because Kelly Kapowski was very wholesome.
Oh, yeah.
She was hot as
Yeah.
the day is long, but she was very wholesome.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And again, with her, I didn't watch the show, but now everyone's all like, "Oh, retro and stuff." And you see her on T-shirts.
Yeah, you have no
Yeah.
idea the reference.
I mean, I know she's that girl.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was,
And I
she was,
get
outra-
it.
she was outrageous.
Yeah.
I really get it.
See, but I'm dialing back to my crushes here weren't even about, I think, hotness. You know what I mean? I wasn't like, oh man, look at how hot that girl is, right? It was like something about them. When I think about crushes, that's what I think about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that it wasn't a manifestation of lust yet or anything like that. It's just like,
Yeah.
You just want
No,
to.
see, I get that. Like,
they're pretty.
yeah.
sense.
No, it
I
wasn't.
like
maybe
their
that. It was
personalities.
you have all the crushes too, but my first different topic. My first manifestation of lust.
Yeah.
Jessica Alba in the movie
Idle Hands.
That was
Of course.
when any single person, any single human being male who fancies themselves a woman who saw that.
Fuck, are you trying to say?
So a man who fancies himself so he thinks he's a woman?
No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase.
Fancies a woman.
Fancies women. Who likes women? Any heterosexual male who saw Idle Hands
Yeah, oh,
had
yeah.
the exact same thought at the exact
yeah.
same time.
Oh, yeah.
Who the fuck
Yeah.
is that girl.
Exactly. It's
Who is that girl?
I remember
She was
being at
insanely.
Blockbuster.
Some casting agent was like this, like just raised his hands triumphantly when he found her because no way she was on some show when she was younger, right?
I don't know about the
I
show.
think it was a Disney
the first
show.
time I saw her, she was in a Disney movie.
Oh, Mickey Mouse.
called Punks.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, Punks. It
I'm
was like
thinking
on
that
the-
maybe. It was. She wasn't
stood
Miss.
for some shit.
Salt Lake
A
City
Musketeer.
Punks. Is that what you're talking
No,
about?
that was
Punk.
not.
It
No,
was
no, no,
P-U-N-K-S. And Johnny Tsunami was in it too, and it was awesome. But she was like 14.
Yeah.
But I was like 8, so it didn't matter. But then when I was like 10, and then she did this Idle Hands thing.
Idle Hands, man.
I was
What
at
a fucking
Blockbuster.
flick.
If you turn the back and look at the back of the VHS of that one,
She's in the white bra and panties, right? Because like
Yeah.
that's like.
I love how much
The angel
you know
out of
this.
Here-
Everyone remembers
Would you
it
like?
burned into
Would
your
you like
mind.
a fun Greg Miller fact?
Yes.
For I think it was 6 years, every Halloween, me and my friends watched Idle Hands.
That is amazing.
Like that's what we
I
should
love
do.
that.
We should watch Idle Hands this Halloween.
We should do
Together.
it now. Turn off the camera. No, but everyone's amazing in Idle Hands. Devin Sawa,
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
Seth Green, awesome.
Yeah, what happened to Devin Sawa? He
Dude,
was supposed to be hot shit.
he was actually on the last like 3 seasons of Nikita.
Nikita, yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
he got jacked. Like
Yeah.
he's actually like you wouldn't even recognize him anymore. He's like
He was supposed to be
must
like the
put
next
him-
big thing for a minute, wasn't he? Like teen actor. Like he was
I don't know.
big
I
in
don't
the
know.
late 90s.
I mean, he
Yeah,
did
was.
the Final Destination and everything.
Yeah, but he never like really materialized.
True fact. Devin Sawa, huge IGN fan.
Is he
Really?
We
Let's get him on
follow
the
each
show.
other. I've already been talking about that for a long time, getting him on the show.
be
So in a future Game Over Greggy show, I imagine he'll be
Oh.
here, and then he'll go to Up at Noon.
Because he was there in the scene where her like costume got ripped off.
Yeah, remember he's trying to pull her off the
Yeah.
car and he yanks
He
it
pulls
off,
it
and
in.
like it's,
God.
it's one of those you're talking about, yeah, like lust moments or whatever. Like when you're a teenage boy, that was burned
was
in your
it.
memory, right? Of yeah,
It was amazing.
I can't believe you blew off heaven to kick it with me. I've seen Idle Hands a few times. Yeah, and while we're at it, we'll just clean the whole fucking kitchen or the whole fucking house. This ain't our mess.
That movie, along with Crazy Taxi, solidified my love for The Offspring.
All right, kid, you've had your fun. His head gets ripped off, or hair, whatever.
Oh, what was the movie he was in? Slackers. That's what it was. Have you seen Slackers?
Yes.
I think so.
Flew under the radar. The only reason I know it is because Brennan Ayub, when we used to work with, he used to be our old post-production manager. He and I are good friends. He was like, "You got to watch this movie."
Which one is it? Give me the synopsis.
He and his friends? It's Jason Segel and I forget the other guy's name. They're 3 friends who are cheating their way through college, and they get found out by Adam Schwartzman, who goes either I'm going to get you expelled or you have to hook me up with the girl that you have a crush on. Like he has this crush on this girl who Devin Sawa also likes, and so Devin Sawa basically.
Which one's the girl?
It's not clear for
Is
me.
older Pete in this? From Pete and Peace.
Don't know. It's like Jason Segel's one of his first movies that he ever did. And he's like super.
Before we
skinny.
look it up, is the redhead from that 70s show in this movie?
Yes,
All right,
the woman,
she
the female.
masturbates in it.
Yes,
like that.
she masturbates
She's
in
like, yeah, okay, old Pete's in this too.
it's really
Old
really,
Pete and
it's
her
really,
obviously have a
really
love
good.
connection. It takes the whole movie to realize it, though, that
Yeah.
they're both like filthy, horrible people.
Oh, that's Old Pete.
Yeah.
yeah. The third in the trio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that movie. I like that movie.
Oh, it was so good. I had never seen it, and I was blown away by it. It's now to this day one of the millions of favorite movies that I have.
Yeah, you like a lot of movies.
I do like a lot of movies. I can't pick one.
So yeah, Colin, what do you got for me?
Got 2 picks for you.
Oh, good. Look at this. We're going in 2s now.
Candace Cameron is one of them.
Oh,
Ah.
yeah.
And
But not a classic beauty that Candace.
no, but
Wait,
there's
is that
some
the Full House girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
DJ.
this wasn't
Kirk
this.
Cameron's
What I
one.
don't think crushes are like what a hug.
Yeah,
I
no,
can't
no,
believe.
no, for
like,
sure.
nah, I mean, like she's beautiful now.
not. Yeah, oh yeah, she's like.
But when she's like
She aged very well.
When I would watch Full House and I would see her on, I would think like we are contemporaries, right? That was the thing. Like I guess now I don't know how kids view other kids on TV now, but like you believe she's a kid. It seems like she's a
Okay,
kid,
okay.
right? Like we always talk about this
Sometimes you're-
nowadays. You talk about it, models or actors and actresses, and like Ryan Gosling takes off his shirt and it's all fucking abs. You're like, well, I don't see how this guy could ever not do anything correct. You know what I mean?
perfect. She's a
Yeah,
perfect. human
Candace
being.
Cameron, like not in the old Full Houses, but like as she got older, like when she started dating the football player and stuff like that. I used to think she was really hot when I was a kid, and now she's absolutely gorgeous. If you look up pictures of her, she looks hot.
I gotta look up.
And the other is we have like the kind of the more innocent crush, the lust kind of thing is Tara Reid. And
Oh, here we go.
And like Tara Reid is like.
Oh
My
yeah, that would
girlfriend
be
gets
90s, right?
she gets so mad at me about Tara Reid because I loved Tara Reid when I was like, Big Lebowski, American Pie kind of era. So
I always
like
forget
8th,
about her in the
9th
Big
grade.
Lebowski. You always remind me.
So hot. She's so hot. Like I just like can't.
She's the first
stand
girl
it.
I've ever seen.
Why is
mess.
Candace Cameron
Yeah, that was
so
the first
hot
girl.
right now?
I ever realized broke herself.
Oh yeah.
Like,
She
when
went
those
off the deep end.
pictures leaked after all the surgery and
Yeah,
stuff,
that
and
was
the boobs.
same for me too. Because up until that point, I actually bought in most of pretty much hook, line, and sinker to the Hollywood like life, where everyone just aged perfectly forever because they were just in generally better human beings than I was. That's what I thought. And then for no reason, she decided to get some sort of weird tummy tuck,
Yeah.
which she didn't need because she was already sadly anorexically skinny, and she just messed herself up. And there was that whole like 2 or 3 year long period where she would like be in bikinis, and people were like, "Why? What did you do to yourself? Like, what surgery could possibly have caused that?"
Like on Paradise on E, which I wanted to like a lot more than I did.
Paradise.
But like, look at this picture. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, she looks like an anime character in that. She looks like a Final Fantasy character in that.
Like, I don't know. So that was like the first like star. Like, it's timely that I bring her up because my girlfriend and I have been arguing about Tara Reid for like weeks. She's like, "Yo, Tara Reid's like a slut and stuff," and I'm like, "But like when you're in 9th grade and you're watching that movie, you don't know that, and you care. You like the sexual part of your mind. That's what you want, you know? Like the wholesome girl, the girl like with depth. Like you don't understand that's what you really want until you're older. Like when you're finding yourself sexually and stuff like that, the hot Tara Reid kind of chick is what you want. I love Tara Reid, man.
She was the ideal girl. She was.
No, at
She
no
was in the movie
point.
with Shannon
In
Elizabeth.
American
point.
In American Pie, she
At
was.
no point.
No, she was never the ideal girl.
She was.
I will give you. I think in American Pie 1 was the one where she was still a normal person.
Yeah,
You're like,
that
that's
was
fine.
what I'm talking about.
And then-
Look at her though. She's hot.
when she but there's more than hot is what I'm saying.
Greg,
there's
we don't.
foreign
I don't get to know Tara Reid as a person.
You watched Paradise. Yes, you did.
That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
I'm just saying we don't get to know them in any depth. This is all aesthetic. These are crushes and
Sure.
and things you lust after. I don't, you know.
Just saying, you said the perfect person. You didn't say the perfect female or perfect sex partner.
No, yeah, okay. So I misspoke. I mean, like,
I'm just
picture,
telling you
that's
where
a
I'm
famous
coming
picture of
from.
her. She looks-
Colin loves to give me half facts and then bite my head off when I act on them.
Do you think that she refers to her hoo-ha as Paradise?
No. Well, yeah, I guess. Actually, I bet she has.
If she
100%.
doesn't, because I'm pretty sure I have it on good authority, she watches this show. Now she's going to
Good.
start referring to that.
Good for her.
What's
Tara, if
happening
you're
over there?
Tara,
Is that
if you're
good?
watching, tweet me.
Colin would like to
Taxation.
go to Paradise. He would like to go to Paradise Bay.
Don't make it all weird.
Oh, yeah, that's
You're
good.
making it
That's
weird
good.
again.
Is that weird?
Yeah.
Why am I always the guy that to you that makes it weird? Is it because I actually make it weird, or is that because you just know me for too long?
I think it's you make it weird. I'm pretty sure that's
Tim,
exactly.
can I get a verdict on this?
I mean,
Do I make it weird, or are you
there's
guys?
so many things I want to say. I'm
say
not
it.
going to say.
Say
No,
one thing. No, don't say that.
I'm not. I'm not.
I know
saying
what you're gonna
things.
say.
Yeah, I know. I'm not
It's
saying.
about the
things.
time they based half the movie of Wolf of Wall Street off of that time we were in Vegas together.
It's not what I was going to say,
Okay.
but it's similar to it.
No. Anyway, moving on. Who's got
90s
another
crushes,
topic?
Tim. You still
Tim
go.
already,
See,
oh, you haven't
I-
gone yet?
What's up? No, I haven't gone.
Oh, I thought it's going to be Topanga. We know it's
no,
going to be Topanga.
I'm giving the obvious answers, but it's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
obvious because it
Pink
represents
Ranger.
my life. Yeah, Topanga, Pink Ranger. Topanga, just like you're saying, she's not Tara Reid. She didn't need to be. You know, that was the girl. She was
she's
created
more on the
for
camera's
people
cam-
to love her.
Topanga, you're saying?
Candace
Yeah.
Cameron's
Oh, Topanga's hot.
And I'm not even talking about early years. Early years,
She had those, she had that,
that's
she had
what
those
she
like,
don't count.
those
High
big-
school.
Yeah. She had a good look to her. She was a good looking girl.
We've talked about
Another
Boy Meets World.
contemporary. You believed you could know Topanga.
Yeah,
But she's
and, like,
still hot today.
Oh my God, she's beautiful. Danielle Fisher.
Yeah.
Official.
Official.
Sorry, my bad.
Did she change her name now? She's all married and stuff.
Oh, I don't know. No, she's an actress. She
Tim,
can't do that.
up until the point where she got married, did you think you had a shot?
Some hair.
Yeah, I still think I have a shot.
You're holding it. It's a long
Yeah.
game? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
a
Pink
long
Ranger
game.
also, I'm pretty sure just got married recently, and I'm convinced I'm gonna end up with her. It's gonna happen.
You got a lot
Amy
of girls
Jo
you're going to end
Johnson?
up with. There's like 3 or 4 girls on your list. Like, you're going to have either a lot of divorces or you're going to have to move to, like, Utah.
I mean, you know, just rolling them dice.
Roll
Seeing
them
what
homies.
happens.
All right.
It'll be good though. But yeah, I mean, no, Topanga, like we've talked about Boy Meets World so many times, and like it's
probably bad.
We can.
Oh, sorry.
I know we get lost just drinking at the table that is going into someone's eardrum.
Yeah, I'm going to get blamed for that, too. Why is there someone drumming at the table?
But the cadence was perfect.
Oh, there you go.
Good commenter voice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
We have
Where
great
did the- where
commenters
did
on
the-
these videos, though.
Where did the commenter voice come from, by the way? I have my thought on this.
Fran.
Yeah, Fran was.
I always thought it was Strong Bad from...
No, it is. No, it was
Really?
an
It
IG generation.
predates Strong Bad.
Really?
Well, I have too much ice.
Can I have one ice? Here.
It's-
Well,
if you
when
can
it
break
melts... Well, I can't do it with my mind.
Grab it.
Thanks.
We got an ice bucket too from last
As far
week.
as I'm concerned,
shit.
early Boy Meets World, late Boy Meets World, they're great, but they're not that great. It's the high school years that are the best.
Wait, it went beyond high school?
Yeah, they were in college.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, it never gets.
That's
good
when
when
the
they go to
Lawrence
college.
boy joined the cast, right?
And that redhead.
Yeah, and the redhead.
What's her name?
who was
Rachel?
Also
Rachel?
kind
Who
of
is the-
hot.
She was real hot.
Yeah.
Who was the kid with the long hair that was his friend that
Sean.
dealt drugs?
Did
he
not
deal-
deal
He
drugs.
looked like a
Just-
drug dealer.
Yes.
He did look like a drug dealer.
Yeah.
He came from an abusive home.
So you do know like that there's that stigma, right, of like any show that is a high school show only has 4 years and then eventually it goes downhill.
But this thing, it didn't go downhill. It's just not as good.
It also started in middle school.
Yeah, there's 3 distinct eras: middle school, high school, college. The middle school was just weird. All the characters were just
I'll tell you
weird.
what. Is it on Netflix?
And in college, they were
No,
weird
it is
too.
not.
Damn it.
If
Where
it
can I
was, I
where can I
would have
find
a
it?
podcast.
I have the
Buy
complete
it from
series
Amazon.
on DVD.
Yeah.
I
Did
can
you
let
ever?
borrow
Did
it.
you
Give me
get
the
like
DVD series.
I know you had them all before. Did you ever get the
I
complete?
did not buy the new box set.
Okay.
I have them in individual DVDs.
Give me the DVDs. I'll start watching these. I'll try to
Good.
get through them all, and that way we can one day
never
have
gonna get through them all.
an entire podcast dedicated
I
to
love
Boy
it.
Meets
See, no,
World.
here's the thing. Me and Colin
And
talked
Death
about
Note.
this for a long time before this show started, before the YouTube stuff started, that what we wanted to do was watch all the Boy Meets World, and then after every episode, do a podcast about that episode.
Let's do this.
We
That-
already have too many projects to do.
that is
This one we
that is
just
a
live
terrible
stream the
idea.
discussion
Let's do it season
afterwards.
by season.
Okay.
There's 7 seasons.
What we should do is a second screen experience for every episode. So we'll do it while we're watching the episode.
That's for Girl Meets World.
Commentaries.
Yeah, Girl Meets World. We
When does
definitely
Girl
gotta
Meets
figure
World
where
come
to-
out? This is a thing,
Gee,
right? It's a real
this
thing.
I don't
soon?
know. You guys
I'll
said it
come
was
on
coming out soon, and
Yeah.
that's not true. I did Google it.
They're filming it already.
Well, I know, but you
I thought
guys
it was
said
in-
it was
I thought
coming
it was
out-
in post.
You said it was coming out in January. It's not coming out.
That's what I was
That's a
told a
term,
long
right?
time ago.
Post,
yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but generally TV shows go into post as they're filming. So you film an episode and then that episode's in post as you're filming the next episode. Unlike movies that shoot for 8 to 14 to whatever weeks and then they stop and they go post. Sometimes they do post during the filming too. So it is a term. Chiron's a term too.
No, I know that. I know about that.
What's your favorite term when it comes to film?
Oh, Chiron's my
production?
favorite term.
Chiron.
Sometime in
Iris is my
2014,
second
according to
Iris is a
Wikipedia.
great one. You know why? Also, it's just it's a good name for any, female.
Google
Chiron?
Doll. Also Google
Iris.
Dolls.
Iris.
Chiron.
Iris is a great name.
There's
Iris is a
some
great name.
video nerd out there that named his daughter Chiron. You damn well know.
What
Chris
you guys?
Ostertag
So you guys
probably
are
will.
you guys are clearly video game people. I've asked you this question before. I know neither one of you are particularly hip.
I've just met you today, sir, and I know you're a video game person.
So I've
Have we
seen-
ever met before this production? No? Excellent.
I've seen a couple of the video game console system controllers on your entertainment
Yeah.
centers. If you had a kid, I know you're not big on kids, but if you were going to name something else, would you name it after a video game character?
No.
And what character would that be? You wouldn't name a kid Joel?
No. Why? Joel's
I don't
not
know.
even like my favorite
What the
character
hell,
in video
What's your
games.
favorite character in video games?
Probably a Patapon.
That's a horrible name for a kid.
Patapon Miller.
I'm a big
mean,
Zeke.
if you better, like-
I'm a big Zeke fan.
Zeke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ezekiel.
Zeke from
Infamous.
Memphis.
The infamous franchise. The infamous 1 and 2.
Zeke is a badass name.
Mega Man Moriarty.
Your kid, because your kid would be tall.
I used to do
You'd
a
name him-
character.
You should name a kid Zeke.
Called
That'd
Zeke.
be cool.
Yeah.
What's your character that you used to do called Zeke?
He sold watermelons.
On the road in Tucson, Arizona. What? Where does he sell watermelon?
He sold them in the fucking videos we did. Me and my friends. Me and my friends broke out.
Where are
camcorders.
these videos and why are they not on this
They
channel
are
right
all-
now?
They are all at my father's
You
attic.
get him here, I will personally pay out of my own wallet to get him converted to put on YouTube.
I have 24 hours of backyard wrestling featuring Gruesome Greggy and his
I
cast of
saw a
idiot
little
friends.
bit of that when we did the Poe episode on up at noon. I remember that. We could convert those at the office pretty easily. You know
Yeah.
that, right?
Well, not easily. Somebody has to sit in there and play them and make them go and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
what Alex
That's
is
what
for.
Alex is for.
Okay, great. Good job, Alex. You've been volunteered. If I'm going home in a couple weeks. If it's easily accessible, I will find you a
Oh,
Zeke
man.
tape and I will bring you in the shit we used to do.
Yeah.
Which, if you think this is bad or up at noon is bad, oh, doctor.
Yeah, you guys were pretty intense about that.
Yeah.
If I remember.
I don't mean the backyard wrestling stuff's all here. Those
that's all here.
those travel with me. I'm talking about the
What's
Zeke.
the Zeke stuff?
The
That's
Zeke
just
and
you being
Saturday
racist
Night-
against.
No, what? It wasn't racist at all. There was no race to it. It was. Well, I guess we'd be if we were ism against anybody. It would be against. It was my best Southern accent, and then my dad's old cowboy hat.
I don't think-
Then
I
this
don't-
windbreaker, and then I acted like I had no hand, and I had a watermelon. I tried to sell to people.
Legitimately, though,
What?
you
This
weren't
is
screwing around.
This is legitimately what we would do.
That is
We would say,
amazing.
"Let's put on a Saturday Night Live," and then just be stupid.
I
Not
can't
even.
tell. Like you would have been one of those people growing up that if we didn't meet under the right circumstances, we would have hated each other. I think.
Really?
I think so. Maybe.
See, I always think that what if I had been.
Because I'm a loudmouth and you're a loudmouth. And
Yeah.
I would have been like, no,
Oh,
like,
sure,
there can't be
sure.
two loudmouths in the room.
I think what would have happened, I would have been a millionaire and never gone to college. Because if I could have been on YouTube,
If you sold that watermelon, that would have been it.
I mean, imagine like if we
$1 million
were,
watermelon?
we were making this content for no one.
Oh,
we were
you-
making hours
you
and
would have been
hours
bigger than
of
Epic
video.
Mealtime.
Yeah,
Bigger
we
than
would
Epic-
like there'd be all these dumb videos.
Is there anyone, Tim, you know this, I'm sure there's thousands of channels. Are there anyone that does backyard wrestling on YouTube? Are there big channels that do that?
Yeah.
There's got to be, right?
Yeah,
Anyone
the
you can think of.
magician. Jericho.
Oh,
Jericho does backyard
not
wrestling?
Jericho. Jarrett.
Jarek.
Yeah, we met at VidCon. Who
Yeah.
did all
He's a
stuff.
badass.
He's a backyard wrestler.
Yeah.
She's an amateur or like a
Oh, he's an amateur.
independent pro wrestler. I mean, that's
what
different.
he
There's a
is.
big difference here.
There is.
Is
Yeah.
there any
I remember being
viability?
amazed that we were called BYWF, right? And then there was a BYWF.com that was another group of kids who did wrestling, I want to say, out on the East Coast. And they like filmed their stuff and then put it up on not YouTube, but like in videos on their site. And we were all like, how do they do this? What kind of black magic are they using
Yeah.
to get these videos from a
The little,
camcorder
Wow.
tape?
the QuickTime player.
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you would have started putting those videos up, that would have been huge. Huge. If you could have done that back in like, what, 2005?
Back in the bum fights days.
Bum
God,
fights.
yeah.
That's art.
It is hard.
Who the hell would do that? Colin would do that. Colin would pay two bums to fight each other.
Porty.
No, I wouldn't do that. It's inhumane.
Are we done with all the crushes?
I think we're all in the crushes.
Okay.
Real quick, I do need to give a shout out to the Pink Ranger. Like, she did not have her time to shine. Deserves time to shine.
Why? I remember her.
She's perfect. Everything
She
about
was
her.
not perfect. She
Amy
was a
Jo
bit-
Johnson.
Yeah,
no.
Amy Jo-
I had a crush on Amy Jo Johnson.
Yeah.
I did too.
The only problem I had with her was that
The
she
only-
was in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers,
That is.
which was like
That's fair.
one of the most ridiculous shows ever brought to America and produced for
one
American
of the best
TV.
shows ever. That's
Tim,
not true, but it's
what
just
one day, oh, there you go. See, that's the first time I've ever actually heard you break and say it's actually not that good of a show. Why do you like that show so
I-
much?
Power Rangers
all
is
the time.
Power Rangers is terrible, but it's so funny that
Why
they
do you
always,
like that show so much?
so good.
What is so good about it? As
Everything.
the ridiculousness? Like, just describe this to me, because I don't know the term for it. I'm not as smart as Colin and Greg here. I don't have the lexicon that these guys do. I don't say things like contemporary and
Yeah.
Parking lot. I don't know. I was trying to think of something you said earlier.
Party.
Did it come
That's what he came up with.
right.
Were you thinking
temporary
like the snowbank?
and
What do you call
parking
it ever? The
lot.
snowbank?
What were those things that the trucks dump their snow
Snow
into?
dumpsters.
Yeah,
The
they're
snow
just dump-
dumpsters.
yeah, I didn't
So I don't
have
say
any.
things like contemporary or snow dumpsters. But what is the term for when something that you find you see and is completely ridiculous to you, and there's no way you're gonna like that? What is the term for the moment where it crosses over and you go, "Oh my god, wait a minute, I actually like this. I'm actually enjoying this." Like Fast and Furious, for instance, was ridiculous for all of us up until that point when it became so ridiculous it was awesome. What is the
I
word
don't
for
know,
that?
That's a really good, like, with Power Rangers,
The paradox
it's the same
point.
thing. It's like
Paradox
there is
point?
that,
Nah,
that
maybe not.
moment that happened.
There's a point for everyone, right? Where anyone who watched Power Rangers that loves Power Rangers, the first episode you watch, you're like, "This is ridiculously stupid," and then
No, see,
What
you're
point
talking
did you-
as an old guy. Like, no.
no,
first
I
episode
wasn't
you
an old guy
watched?
though. I was only like 14 when Power Rangers.
I was
around.
too old for Power Rangers and still loved Power Rangers. Joined the fan club and like
Good.
this is like when
Good.
like the ship was
What
like
did
being
you like
overtaken
about
by
it?
fans. It was live action superheroes. That's it. It was a live action
Yeah.
cartoon.
The
Just
movie
like-
came out on my 6th birthday. It was
Oh
the
my
best
God.
birthday
You're young.
I've
Oh
ever
my
had.
God.
And it was great. When Kimberly comes, they get their new
When-
Zords.
How negative
Can I
old?
just start there? That's amazing. And then Kimberly comes in. She's just like, "Oh, I love the stereo." It's like,
How
you're so
how
cute.
old? How negative old were you? Like, what was the age you?
Negative old?
Yeah, like going back years. How many
88.
years? How many
I was
years
negative
earlier
one in
would you
88.
have needed to be born for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie? Were you born during that movie?
1989 is when
Was that 89?
No, it's not.
8 TMNT.
The original movie
wasn't 89.
with April O'Neil. That's
Was
now
it a
the-
live action movie? It's
Sister on
19-
Was it
Nashville.
89?
Yeah. I'm
I
almost
don't think
positive.
so. I think it was.
We're checking. Keep
I'll
going.
check.
It was 90. Not that it's the biggest thing in the world, but
It could be 90, but I think it's 1989.
Yeah.
I saw it in the theater.
Anyway, the point is, the Power Ranger movie was amazing. When
Never
it starts
saw it.
off,
I couldn't get past the second episode of the TV show. I watched a lot of the TV show, not
90,
because I
90.
wanted to, just because it was on. It was on. That was it. That was all it was on.
It's so good. Anyway, though, Amy Jo Johnson,
Sure.
also star of the first Disney Channel original movie, Susie Q.
What was that one about?
It was about
remember
her
that.
and her boyfriend who were going to prom, and drunk drivers hit them, and they died. They They crashed and went off a bridge, and she came back as a ghost. Had to like finish some unfinished business. It's kind of Casper-ish,
Sure.
but with the Pink Ranger. Movie starts off her getting ready to go to prom, putting on a dress, which is camera shots of panties and happiness, and it was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Like it was my Pink Ranger. It
Speaking
was Kimberly.
Speaking of Casper, by the way, dark horse candidate for a crush, Christina Ricci.
Oh
Oh yeah,
yeah.
and Casper, she was cute in that.
Well, she was too young. Well, no, and that's about right. If you were Tim's age, you
Yeah,
could
I
have
was
absolutely had a
young
crush on her
because I remember having a
No,
crush.
she's too old.
I remember having a crush
She's
on
too old for you?
her.
She's too old for me.
Yeah.
I remember having a crush on her in
Adam's Family. She was so cute when she was a little kid.
And I remember coming to the realization that she was a hot woman in Buffalo '66.
Oh, that was a good movie though. She
Yeah.
was like all sexual
never
and
saw
had
that one.
grown into herself.
What was
she
that
was
one?
hot. She was hot.
I think God, who was in that? It was an indie film. It wasn't very good. I don't remember it being very
Christopher
good.
Walken.
No, I can see the guy's name.
Look
face,
it
but
up.
I can't.
It's not Paul Rudd. It's a guy like Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Then she
Willem
was
Dafoe.
in Black Snake Moan, and you were like, oh, okay, that's Samuel L. Jackson. That was just a phenomenal film. If you've ever seen that one, she's basically chained to a bed the
Gallo.
entire time.
no.
Oh,
Vincent
Mickey
Gallo.
Rourke was in it.
I gotta give a shout out to Sarah Michelle Gellar, just because
Oh, Buffy.
to me,
Buffy.
she was a woman.
See, Sarah Michelle Gellar to me was always the girl that was like, she was just very accessible to me. She wasn't like out
She
of
was
this
your
world.
contemporary.
She was my no. She always seemed a little bit older.
She was
than
your
I was.
snow.
Yeah, she's
she was
older.
your snow
She's
She was
the
my,
mom.
yeah. She
I
was
want
my
the breast milk.
That
She was
sounded
my
bad. That
snow
sounded worse.
dumpster.
That
What?
sounded worse than it needed to be. I didn't mean it like that. But she was.
But dude, she had a great run of it in the '90s. Still on TV, right? She's still doing a show. I forget what it is. She just came out
Right
with
now?
something. Yeah,
no,
she's
you
doing
talking
something.
about Jennifer Love Hewitt, which also
No,
good for her.
oh yeah, can't hardly wait. Can't hardly wait. By the way. You familiar
Oh
with
my
this film?
God, can't hardly wait.
Good
There you
movie.
go.
Came
Bring
out.
it back though. Jennifer Love Hewitt, Boy Meets World, Halloween episode, best episode of Boy Meets World.
Oh, you've just jogged a memory too of another crush, Alex Mack.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yes,
right,
yes,
right.
yes,
She
yes.
eventually came.
Larissa Lorenik.
Alyssa
That
Olenek,
sounds
something
right.
like that.
She went from Alex Mack canceled or whatever. Then she was a Boy Meets World Sean girlfriend for a bit, and then off the radar forever until one random Mad Men episode she popped up as
Oh
Ken
no,
Cosgrove.
no! You're missing the. There's a missing link in there.
Lay it on me.
It's is it 10 Things I Hate About You? Right? No. Yes. Where she was like smoking hot.
With Heath Ledger and
Yeah.
JLG. Or,
That
JGL.
yeah, that's the one. I can never.
the girl with
yeah.
the curly hair, like she was the right. She was the younger
Julia
sister.
Stiles.
Julia Stiles, right? Yeah, like yeah, I loved her in that movie. I thought she was like so cute in that movie.
Yeah, she
when
was
I
cute in
younger.
that. That was a
never had
young.
a thing for Melissa Joan Hart though.
Oh, interesting.
Never.
Why not?
Like Clarissa.
Long
Yeah,
Island
Clarissa
Girls.
explains it all.
Sabrina.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah.
I
Don't
don't
like
agree
it.
with that. She was beautiful. She's a beautiful young
Because to
woman.
me, it was always her and Alex Mack.
Oh
It was
yeah,
Clarissa and
yeah,
Alex
they're
Mack,
both on
and I'm like,
Nickelodeon. Yeah,
I'm with
yeah.
Alex.
I'm with you on that one. If
Yeah.
when you come down to my Nickelodeon allegiance, sure. Yeah, yeah.
Good for her.
Good for her.
It's a good topic, Tim.
This is a good one.
It's a good one.
Was it? Was it really?
I'm gonna say yeah.
I
We got
like
time
it
with the
too.
Pink Ranger.
You want to talk
I'm
about
just
what about
verifying.
90 man crushes?
Man crushes? The White Ranger?
Oh my God, Tommy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I had
He's-
such a
he's a
crush
good
on him.
dude. I love
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, we've met him now. That
Yeah.
was weird, but yeah, I had a total man
was
crush
fun.
on Tommy for
Yeah.
sure.
He's the coolest person when you're a little kid.
Was
Yeah.
Tommy the Green Ranger?
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
met
you
him.
met the Green
Yeah,
Lantern
he's
too.
awesome.
Yeah, if you weren't checking your phone, you would.
No, I was trying to figure out what my topic was because
Yeah.
I'm slowly but surely forgetting.
I think probably Sean too from Boy Meets World.
Oh,
You're always like,
Wait,
I want
can
to be
we go
his
back?
friend.
Can we go back for a second for Tommy?
No, we've moved to man crush.
No,
Okay,
no, this is happening. We do this show. Tim, you were there. You were there. Colin, you were not there. We do this great, amazing live stream live at San Diego Comic Con. The producer of it did a great job.
Link is in the description.
Yeah,
You can watch us talk to Tommy or watch me
really,
talk to
really,
Tommy.
really amazing. We had all these cool, like, amazing celebrities on there doing great work. And who does the crew nerd out most about when he comes through? The Green Ranger.
Yeah.
100%.
Everyone went and got a photo with the Green Ranger.
Everyone. Not only did they
Jason
go and
and
get
Frank.
that, they
Knows
sent
what's up.
anyone who was free to the show floor to get Green Ranger paraphernalia. So they would have something for him to sign.
That's
'cause they
awesome.
didn't
I
want
didn't know this story. I didn't know this
Aransky was like, someone has to go. Was it you or Aransky that was like,
Aransky went to buy it
pissed?
for me.
Oh yeah, because you were like,
And
you
he
need to
bought me
get
the
this
wrong
one.
one,
And you were like,
but I
wrong one.
respected it still. It
But
was
you were,
okay.
You were
Like,
pissed.
he
You
tried-
were hot.
I was a little
You
sad.
said underneath your breath, you were like, fucking.
Well, no,
Aransky.
because there was a limited
Always
edition
messing it up.
Comic Con Green Ranger toy.
Yeah.
And whoever it was lied to him and said, "Oh yeah, this is it." It was some weird Japanese knockoff.
Damn
But
it, Aransky.
he still signed it. I have it. It makes me very happy.
He was a cool guy though. Very cool.
I want
guy.
him to come on up at noon and come on the Game Over.
And
That would be fun.
on that show, I tweeted at Greg and asked him to ask the Green Ranger, "How was it kissing Kimberly?"
And I did.
And he did, and it was awesome. And we got answers.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What did he say?
Tim was the.
Full
That's
circle.
amazing.
he
You know
laughed
what?
and
I'll
thought
watch.
it
You know what? I'll click on the link. I'll watch it myself.
There you go. Links in
watch-
the description below.
There you go.
But finish this episode first. Speaking of finishing this episode, Greg Way, Nick, what's your topic?
So this is my thing. I always like doing this. This is fun for me. This will be a fast topic. I like to rank things. You know that, right?
Yeah, you're a ranker.
I'm a huge ranker. So to start off, we're going to start off a little slow. We don't have to go hardcore into it. We're going to just rank the following.
Okay.
From best, your favorite, to the thing you would eat if you had to eat it. 100%. Burritos, pizza, Chinese food, tofu, or cottage cheese. Those are, again, burritos, pizza, Chinese food, tofu, or cottage cheese.
Pizza, Chinese food. One more time, what were they again?
Burritos.
Yeah. Then it would be cottage cheese tofu.
You go cottage cheese before tofu.
I love cottage cheese.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a split camp
Really?
of people, yes.
Oh,
Some people
cottage cheese is horrifying.
disgusting.
Horrifying?
Yeah.
Do you wanna
Cottage
know-
cheese, Bottom. Can't do that.
Here's the thing that I will horrify, I would think, most in this room.
Oh,
And I don't know where it comes from in my family genealogy, but my mom passed this down to me, and I'm sure she had it passed down by one of her ancestors. Awesome meal for Greg Miller and Greg Miller's mom. You take pasta, you butter the pasta, and then you just put huge scoops of cottage cheese on it. You mix it all together
Lord
and eat
have
it.
mercy.
It looks like the food those aliens and Men in Black get killed in. Remember? You can kill us, but you'll never have the galaxy.
Oh, it's horrible.
So it's so
that
good.
sounds fucking
And
horrifying.
there'll be days where you just wake up and you're like, God, I gotta eat.
You want to
that
hear
today."
a funny story Greg told me about pasta? He was telling me once that he went to a restaurant and he didn't like sauce on his pasta.
When I was a kid, I didn't like sauce on my pasta. My mom would wash it up. My mom wouldn't put sauce on my ravioli.
So he went to a restaurant with his aunt, right? And he ordered just a dish of pasta, and the pasta came out with sauce on it, and he started crying.
And my aunt was like, "What is wrong?" And I'm like, "This isn't ravioli." And so she had to like scrape it off with her fork. And my aunt and my uncle are like, they have no kids, this amazing life in Chicago.
Yeah.
And like you can just see like how I am now when I hear anything about a kid. I'm just like, oh, this is totally their moment of like, never. Thank God we made the right decision.
My aunt Val and Uncle Vince, God bless them, they're awesome. They tried to get me to eat a yam, which is a sweet potato.
Yeah, what
Yams are
about you?
awesome.
Well, they are different.
Potatoes
Well, they are
I'm
different, but
always
they wanted to get me
nose.
eat yams. So they back in the day, I didn't like anything like that. I liked but regular potatoes. This yam thing, I don't understand why it was sweet. So they made me sit out at the dinner table for like an hour and a half until I tried some of the I couldn't choke this thing down if you paid me, and I had to eat almost.
Did
the
you like
entire
it?
thing. No, I hated it.
Really?
I almost threw up.
That's
It
weird.
caused
Yams are awesome.
back what I was like 5 though. I didn't understand. To me, a potato was supposed to taste savory, and this was sweet, so I didn't get it. Now I love yams, of course. I like yams, like sweet potatoes, like sweet potato pie. Best
The old yam bag.
The old yam bag. The old snow dumpster yam bag.
I think Greg's got the order right, with the exception I actually really like tofu. I think tofu's fine.
Now,
I would put tofu above cottage cheese. I'd fucking rather
real
murder
quick
someone
for my
or
case
myself.
here. What I'm saying is I like all those foods. Tofu's not last because I don't like it. It's just that I would rather have cottage cheese.
But we have to be very specific. Long Island pizza, number one.
Yeah.
Which
Long
okay,
Island's-
define it to people who haven't gone to New York or Long Island. What is Long Island pizza?
How is that different than
Then-
Manhattan pizza? Is that a difference?
No, it's similar.
like a
It
big
is a little.
difference?
It is a little different.
Okay.
Thin crust, doughy,
Like some chew.
crust. Yeah, a little bit but thin, like really nice sauce with a little bit of maybe put a little sugar in the sauce when they make it.
Okay, yeah.
Make it a little sweet.
Yeah.
Put a little, mozzarella. You can see some pictures of it on my Twitter.
Oh, you see a lot. Yeah. I just want to make sure. I
Yeah.
think this is my problem sometimes when you haven't gone to New York and someone starts talking the virtues of New York and you have no idea what it is. It's hard to be like, I don't understand why that pizza's better.
Oh yeah,
than my
you
pizza.
understand when you go there and eat. Szechuan Chinese would be specifically what I would want New York style Szechuan Chinese food.
Which means?
So Szechuan's a little cooked a little bit with a lot of red peppers and stuff like that. So it's got a little more of a kick. And you eat more like Hunan style in California, which is very sweet.
No,
Like, when
now you just explain this to me for those of you who don't know. 'Cause I didn't know. What is the difference between Hunan and Szechuan?
Well, so Hunan tends to use more sweet ingredients. A good example is sesame chicken. If you order sesame chicken here, it tends to come with things like pears in it, which is fucking weird.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never had
If
that.
you order, there's a great place actually at Broadway. I don't remember the name of it. Cheryl really likes it. It's a really, really popular Chinese place. I can't think of the name of it. They put pears in their Chinese food or in their sesame chicken. But if you order sesame chicken out in New York, you get it with like watercress and like red peppers and stuff like that.
Here's what I want to propose. I think you've had bad luck ordering from certain Chinese food places because I still order Chinese food a lot here, and I go from one or two places, and I get the sesame chicken you're describing, where I'm
like
not
Szechuan.
There was
where I'm not getting it's there's if there a pair came in there, shit's going south somewhere. I'm gonna go get somebody.
I don't want any of that.
So we had a great idea, me and a few groups of friends. So it was like me and like 4 other couples with my wife. We wanted to have dinner parties where you would come over and eat what we thought was our favorite Chinese food. And then the next week, we'd go to your house and eat your favorite Chinese food. And then at the end, you vote and there'd be some sort of prize that was involved. We only got as far as to have people over to our house, and we got so drunk we totally forgot about the idea. But now,
And then the keys went in the bowl, and the inhibitions went flying.
yes,
Key party. See what I'm saying? 'Cause
you were at that party.
Yeah, I know. Me and Portillo tossed his collar in the bowl.
Don't talk about Portillo in that manner ever in my presence, please. Tim,
Yeah.
You're ordering.
I remember them. Okay, so
go. Do you need all 5? 5 might be a little too hard. Next week I'm gonna do 4. I think.
there's a couple
If I do
foods
it
that
all of these.
I cannot do my entire life. Cottage cheese. The
Cottage cheese is one of them.
yam.
Yam,
Yam,
can't do it.
sweet potato stuff. It messes with me. Cannot do it.
That's weird.
Lean into the mic a little bit.
The dumb purple food. The
Eggplant?
Thanksgiving stuff.
Oh, cranberry?
Oh, cranberry.
Cranberries are red.
I'm not a fan of Thanksgiving food. Like there's some of
close enough.
stuffing, down with it. Ham, love
Oh,
it.
don't say that to my wife. My wife has this thing at Thanksgiving. It's her favorite day of the year, where she has to do a piece of turkey, okay, stuffing, and then the cranberry
That's
over
ruined.
it.
Is
And
it
then
on
that's-
top of it? Everything's on top.
Everything's on top of each other.
Okay.
And then it's each individual bite has to have the perfect portion of each one of those things in it. That is her jam.
I like what your wife.
Maybe
does.
I don't think she even uses I don't recall her using the gravy even. It's just she gets the wet sauce, not the dry stuff. The wet sauce that goes on top. Maybe actually no, I'm sorry. It is turkey gravy, then the stuffing, then the cranberry.
I like everything that's
on
happening
top.
here.
But not the shit that comes in the can. She likes like actual like
Okay,
melted up
okay.
cranberry that actually has. Like,
I got a couple
berries
cans of
in it.
cranberry out there. I love cranberry sauce out of a can.
No.
I
I can take the. I
eat it.
can take the fresh stuff. I know it's just a jellied. It's just jelly.
I also used to when I was a kid because I was insanely fat. After church, I'd go to Coco's, which is a big chain in Southern California, and because I was so hungry, because my parents would make me wait till after church to eat, I used to eat the jellies that were on the table. You peel them back and you just eat the strawberry jam. And the waiter would come and I would actually have the audacity as like a 7-year-old kid to be like, "Can I get some more of the strawberry jams?" Because I've eaten them all with a spoon. And they would every time without fail, they would look at me with just disgust.
No, see, I'm okay with that.
Eating the jellies, you're fine with?
Yeah.
So you can't do tofu, you can't do cottage cheese, and you can't do
No,
yams.
tofu's fine.
Tofu's
I
really
don't
good.
like tofu, but that's not on my list.
You gotta just
no.
Is
fry
pizza,
it up.
the main question I want to know is, do you put pizza before burritos?
So that is the hardest part of this. I do.
You put
I've had
put
bad
put pizza before burritos.
I've had bad burritos. I've never had bad pizza.
Really, I've
had bad pizza, but even bad pizza's all right.
Yeah.
I've
Bad
had
burritos will mess with you. Like
yeah, I've had unedible pizza.
But see,
once.
to me, the burrito
Where
is
was
the
that?
perfect food.
the burrito is the perfect food.
Somewhere around here.
But pizza can
Really?
be better.
Yeah.
Pizza generally is more fulfilling, but like if I had to just have one, I'd probably pick burritos because there's so many different things you could do with a burrito.
There's so many things you can do with pizza, man.
Thank you.
Like
People
You
always
can't-
ask
you
me,
can't-
"What's your favorite pizza?" When come visit. What do you want from Pacheese? What's the best pizza to get
Yeah.
at Pacheese? And I change it up all the time.
You said
Varieties.
Did you get that? Was that cheese? The
Pacheese.
Oh no, it was Extreme Pizza that used to do the buffalo chicken
Oh,
pizza.
and then oh my god. No, but no.
Extreme
remember
pizza
that one?
sucks. I
That-
hate extreme pizza. I'm so.
Yes, Extreme Pizza does a buffalo chicken. The buffalo chicken I tweeted about all the time is for a while Pacheese would make me the special buffalo
Oh,
chicken
God.
pizza, and they wouldn't put it on the menu because they're stupid and don't like money.
That would sell like hotcakes.
They don't care about
Why'd
money.
you
over
shush
there.
me about extreme pizza?
I wanted to put a pin in that. Now to come back to that, yes, Extreme Pizza is quite bad
It's fucking garbage.
when ordered in bulk.
Yes.
IGN would order 400 pizzas, and no shit, they're all terrible. When I would order a one-off buffalo chicken pie from them, not terrible, not great. Don't get me wrong.
I
I'm
don't
not
know, I
writing home
just don't
about it. But
understand.
if you're
it's pizza.
if somebody's eating Pizza Hut, then I think you're okay with Extreme Pizza in the long run.
Pizza Hut is much better than extreme pizza in my experience. Like I like in the 10 or 12 times I ever had extreme pizza when we were at work. That shit sucked every
time.
single
But again,
time.
You're
sucks.
ordering way too much. You're putting the stupid chain restaurant. They're like, I don't know.
Yeah,
they're
I mean, by
they're
the time
de-thawing
that last
crusts,
one,
they don't know what's happening.
by the time that last one rolls off of the oven, like how much time has passed between that and the time the first one is rolled off the oven, right? You're talking like an hour maybe. That thing's been sitting there. And pizza, extreme pizza is one of those things where, like, if you don't eat that immediately, it's like Taco Bell, right? If you don't get Taco Bell in your system immediately, something weird happens to it.
It congeals. All that
it
cheese just goes back
congeals,
to
yeah,
the
it's
heart.
kinda
I know
weird.
exactly what you're saying. The pizza,
Yeah.
But
terrible.
also, what's so extreme about it?
They put like artichokes
savings.
on it, man. It's extreme. It's extraordinary.
No, yeah, they do. Like we always was just like, yeah, pepperoni or cheese and a sausage, and then
Yeah, they put like linguiça or something. They have something else on it too. Yeah.
It's honestly one of those things
Little,
where
they
I
had
think
little pepperonis, mini pepperonis.
I think the concept behind Extreme, which is weird because they're not open late, but it's one of those places that's only good when it's open late. You know, like there's a
Like
place
New York,
called
like New York pizza or Escape from New York in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
pizza's legit.
yeah, they like that. That's good.
I mean, there's a place.
It's
called,
not New York style
There's a place
pizza,
in San
by
Francisco
the
called Pizza Orgasmica, which
Oh
if
my
you've ever
god,
been-
pizza orgasmic is really good too.
It's really good, and it's especially good when you just stumble out of the bar right next to it,
no,
and you
oh,
smell it.
man.
And
You want to talk
smell
about
it, and you're like, I need. And people will. I have seen women, like being propped up by their boyfriends because their boyfriend wanted a piece of that pizza so bad. They're passed out in
Yeah,
their arms,
yeah.
and they're dragging them through the line. And like, baby, do you want a piece of cheese?
Yeah.
Do you want cheese? I'll get you a piece of cheese. And
He's
the
just
woman's
gonna
like
get cheese.
throwing up all over herself,
Yeah.
but they still wait in the line for it. It's amazing.
You want to talk about great drunk pizza in San Francisco? Irving Street Pizza.
Oh, how was that? I've never been to Irving.
I
Street.
get
Irving Street Pizza is the most disgusting pizza when you're sober. When you're drunk, it's so good.
So I pulled one of my favorite moves. I was with Greg and Ryan Clements. We got drunk at Yancey's in Inner Sunset. There was a lady outside selling.
We leave. We're drunk. We're all bombed. We leave Yancey's and go to the street, and there's a woman out there who's cooking sausages on that little thing.
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like one of the street.
Totally illegal, totally disgusting.
Yeah,
It was totally awesome.
yeah. Colin walks
had
up.
multiple.
Colin goes up and buys the bacon wrapped hot dog.
Yeah, and I dip it. I get it all in mayonnaise with mayonnaise and ketchup on it, and onions, and I'm eating it down
yeah,
the
sounds
street.
good.
And then like 9 blocks later, I'm done with it. We get to Irving Street Pizza, at which point I order like a bunch of mozzarella sticks. But so I eat twice in that time span. But needless to say, I get home and the next morning I wake up and there's just a huge like thing of mayonnaise on my glasses from the sausage.
So when he ate the sausage at Block 2, he got mayonnaise on his face, didn't notice, walked all the way there, ordered food with food on his face.
it was like a huge dollop of mayonnaise. I don't know how.
There's been Craig Bear and I used to live in our neighborhood, and there was a few glorious times.
Oh, that's
we would
right.
usually
That's right.
we would always text each other when one of us was drunk. I'm going to Urban Street Pizza, and like there was a few glorious times where it worked out. Like I was coming home and he was coming home, and we would meet there and get like boneless wings and all this horrible stuff.
I don't understand how Craig Barron stays fit.
because
He
he
works
works out
out.
like a madman.
Oh God, man, he's so fit. It's annoying.
It is annoying. It is annoying. It's annoying how good looking he is. It's annoying how well he dresses. I don't like any of that.
Thank God he's not that smart, so we have something over him.
He does everything better than me.
So
But I love
there's a place by my house that if you guys are ever drunk with me, if you ever come venture all the way out to
If we're ever invited, that'd be
the
nice.
Apollo.
So all the, I know
Oh, you
you're,
would- oh.
you're having all these couples parties
says
that we're
the
not
guy who
involved
at Starbucks at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I'll just get Starbucks. Oh, Greg Miller and Ty Root are here, fucking blasted out of their mind. You were hammered at 9 o'clock in the morning.
It was a Mizzou game. It was Mizzou, Texas. There was a reason
And
we
I'm
were there
like,
drunk.
guys, I live 2 blocks from here, and you guys are like, great, see you later.
Why
And
didn't you
like
come?
that.
I'm
my
sure we
wife,
invited
had
you.
like yoga or something.
I'm
we
sure.
were
Well,
gonna
okay,
go.
again, not something I was invited to.
No, Ty sometimes doesn't invite me places. It's Ty.
He doesn't like not being the most handsome man. Then.
He's way better looking than I am. But there's a place if we all go drink. That was delicate. You're a delicate
Speaking
man.
of
for
that,
this
real
drink.
quick. So I just was in Austin with my girlfriend.
Sure.
And-
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's a thing.
What?
What?
Did you catch that?
What's the thing?
Did you
Your
catch
girlfriend?
That? Your girlfriend?
What the hell, guys?
Yeah.
No. What the hell?
Yeah.
I feel red right now. This is fun. This is
you are
fun.
red right
That's awesome.
There we go. Okay.
Congratulations.
Is that the
I
first
guess-
time you
I'm gonna
referred to her
text
as
her
your
all
No,
wishes.
totally not my first thing.
I'm texting her. I don't have her number, but
What's
Greg will
happening?
text her.
Hey,
Give me
what-
your number and send me any pictures she sent to you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my point is, we met up with Ty in
In Austin?
In Austin.
Why is
yeah.
he? Oh, he's always in Austin. Man. He's crazy.
And I have never seen her. Like, she did the thing, the I'm a girl around Ty thing.
yeah. Oh God. I hate
Where-
it. And Ty just eats that shit up. Too.
Yeah,
He
and
loves
it.
it.
Was so funny. Like the entire, she flirted with him so hard. I didn't even care because I'm like, it's fucking Ty. This makes sense. He's a fucking good-looking dude.
Yeah, he's
But
an
it's just funny.
Adonis.
He has this crazy like magic power around girls.
Yeah, he's
Every
gorgeous.
single woman I've ever known, I've ever come in contact with who I just met.
I can't believe that just happened.
I know. It's-
What an awesome way to drop that in, by
Yeah,
the
'cause
way.
you didn't
blah
tell
blah
us
blah.
any of this
My
stuff.
girlfriend. What?
What is weird about that?
There's
You've never said that
never
before.
mentioned
that all the
once.
time.
You have never said that. How long have you been girlfriend and
I
boyfriend?
don't know. It just happened.
Did you have a discussion?
Did you have the talk about
You
it?
gotta have the talk about it.
I just texted her about it. Is she gonna respond back like, "Whoa,
No.
we're not
definitely
making
not.
that step.
Things are fine.
Don't take it
You-
too far."
Do you love her?
Have you said the, have you
No,
said the,
no, I don't.
No, let me ask you.
You gotta think about it. You gotta think about it.
No, I'm thinking about.
Have
like,
you said the L word to her outside of
God damn it, Nick.
I won't go there.
Can we please title this episode "Tim Has a Girlfriend," the Game Over Greggy show? All caps! Exclamation.
No, but every single female I've ever come in contact with while Ty was there inevitably asks me who is that guy?
Yeah.
Who is he?
Yeah.
And it's usually within the first 5 minutes of seeing him, they pull me aside and they go, "Hey, who is that guy?"
Yeah.
And I go, "That's Ty." And they go, "What does Ty do?" And it got to the point where, when I was younger, like we were all single. It got to the point where it didn't hurt, but it was so annoying to me that it was literally like looking at me to get information just so they can go talk to Ty, that I would just make shit up about him. I would.
Good.
Sorry, Ty. But I mean, cool stuff, like he was a pilot or whatever. Or like he played center field for the Yankees.
I was gonna say, didn't you once tell somebody that he was like a millionaire, or that you made?
No, I told someone myself that I made $200,000 a month. And Ty, being the stand-up man that he is, she came over to him and said, "Does your friend actually make $200,000 a month?" And without missing a beat, Ty goes, "Yeah, we fucking hate him. We hate him because of that." And she was just like,
That is awesome.
"This guy's amazing."
And then you married her.
No. Sadly, I think Ty ended up making out with her that night, but it doesn't matter.
It's funny because at Comic-Con a few years ago, in New York Comic-Con, when I was there with Ty, we had like a meet and greet, and my aunt, my family all lives like 10 minutes away, so my aunt came and she was like, "That who is that guy? That guy's hot." About Ty, my fucking aunt.
No, we were hanging out. We were just hanging out, and then Ty like saw that I was in Austin. He's like, "Oh, dude, like, hey, let's hang out, whatever."
Shit.
And then I was like, "Yeah." Sure.
By the way, Austin is a phenomenal place to hang out with Ty.
Austin is awesome.
Oh,
period.
It's so good
Austin's
because
fucking
Austin might be one of the only places where Ty is not the best looking person in the joint.
No bullshit.
Like Austin has
Bullshit.
good looking people.
Everywhere we went, he was the best looking
All right,
guy.
continue your statement. Sorry.
Anyway, like I was just like, "Oh, hey, like my friend's here. You want to hang out?" Whatever. She's like, "Let me see a picture of him." Like I showed her. She's like, "Yeah, let's hang out with that guy." I'm like
Immediately.
Yeah, just immediately. She's
It's like
"Oh,
a
yeah."
switch
And then
flips. You just flip a switch. I
Stop
want to
talking
hang
about
out
it
with
for a
this guy.
couple hours. She brings it up a couple hours later. "Hey, so we're hanging out with your friend?"
Well, so you
Yeah,
remember
yeah, we're hanging out with my friend.
when Ty? Oh, she Kara brought that up.
Yeah.
I don't want to say this, Tim. You might not want them in the room together for too long. Just
I know. I was
maybe
in the room with them for
Ty
a
is
long
like
time.
Ty with girlfriends, and Ty's never done anything bad at all. Well,
Yeah, no, Ty's
but
He ignored me in an airport once.
did he?
Yeah, there was a Gregory about it. Thanks for watching.
Oh, okay. Well,
You
I
filmed it.
probably filmed. I check my phone when I film those things, right? I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm looking at watches online. No, Ty's like with women, with girlfriends, is like, like when in like The Princess Bride, where he had to take the poison and it didn't kill him because he like over years he had to give himself little doses of it so he could like build up an immunity to it.
Yep.
That's what you have to do with your girlfriend and Ty. Limited amount of time with them, 5 seconds, then pull her ass away, let her detox a little bit from it, then bring her back in. She can have 5 more minutes with them. Then slowly, after about 2 or 3 years, they're good to go. They can stay in the same room with him without wanting to see what he's wearing underneath all that madness.
Yeah, no. There's, I don't know. Just words.
Yeah.
They call him Spanish Fly Ty.
We used to actually refer to him as a cartoon airline pilot.
That's good. That's better. That's much better. Did you rank your foods?
Yeah, I'll rank mine real quick. I go burrito. Burrito to me is the perfect food. Pizza.
You used to be, when you were fat and cool and smoked, you'd go home and eat a burrito every night and watch Point
Yeah,
Break.
I actually found a place in the marina that served burritos late. It was a late night burrito place, and that was amazing.
That's something special.
They'd make them for you fresh too.
Yeah.
Then they started losing profit, so then they started pre-making them. No, they wouldn't deliver, but you can go. There's a place in my area that delivers. It's amazing. There's a place in my neighborhood called La Canasta, and that place doesn't stay open late, but they would deliver, and every day I'd order the same thing. Every time I'd get a burrito, I'd order the same thing. Finally, the guy on the end of the phone was like, "Hey, look," this is a really nice older Spanish gentleman. He was like, "Look, I'm just gonna make you something different, and I just want you to try it. If you don't, I'm gonna put it in with the other thing that you get, just because, and it's not even more expensive. I just want you to try something else other than like a carnitas burrito." And I'll be damned if that wasn't one of the best things I've ever had. And I went right back to the carnitas burrito because I'm not going to be
No,
swayed.
when you find a good thing, you
stick with it. I go burrito, pizza.
Is it a girlfriend?
No, it's not.
Damn it. I was hoping she's like,
I know,
you
but-
tell her my
yeah,
very
yeah.
funny girl.
Can we call her right now on the show? I'll prep a mic for her and talk to her real quick about this. Is this a thing we can do? Can we put that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure.
Greg's doing it now.
All right.
rank your
So
foods real quick.
pizza is amazing.
She never returned the text.
I go burrito, pizza because pizza is my other guilt food. Chinese food because it's more sustenance. Then I go cottage cheese and tofu, just because I
Yeah.
love cottage cheese. Cottage cheese, I like to put salt on cottage cheese though.
Salt on
Salt.
the cottage cheese.
I like savory cottage cheese. I don't like sweet cottage cheese. I'm a weird guy like that.
Cottage cheese can go straight to hell.
It's disgusting
It
to you. It's
can.
curdled cheese. It's like rotting cheese.
Yeah, it's just horrifying.
You don't like
Here, you
it.
talk to him.
No.
You talk to her, Greg.
What am I? Were you gonna talk a little, Nick?
God.
She doesn't really know me though. She knows you. a
So
lot
why
more
the
than me.
fuck did you just have me call her?
She knows you more.
Everyone's backing
She
down.
definitely knows you, Nick.
I'll talk to her.
Oh Lord.
Put it to the mic.
Does she know we're on the podcast right now?
She knows. She knows.
Well, yeah, they were girlfriend and
Probably
boyfriend.
Sleeping, though.
Is she,
At
it's her.
10:30?
She's not gonna. If she's
We've been-
smart, she's not gonna
our
answer.
sleeping hours are messed up.
Yeah, she sees
Oh.
this.
She's smart.
Sorry, Mr.
Okay.
Leave a message. Be funny.
Why can't? Well, now I can't be funny.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Kara, it's Nick Scarpino from the GameOverGreggy show. You might know me from that time. Tim introduced us at a party. I was dressed like a slutty Obi-Wan Kenobi. Tim just dropped a knowledge bomb on us right now that you guys are actually official. You guys have put a title on it, which we just wanted to talk to you a little bit. We're actually doing the podcast.
That strongly.
We're actually doing the podcast right now. So I'm in a room. There's a camera on. You can watch the episode. It posts Fridays on Bandcamp, Mondays
For a
on
dollar,
for a dollar. Anyway, you don't have to call us.
GameOverGreggy.com.
This is Greg's
GameOverGreggy.com.
And GameOverGreggy.com.
Mondays.
On Mondays
For free.
For free.
Nerdy conversation every
nerdy
day.
conversation every day. We do a lot of stuff. So you don't have to call us back. It'd be lovely if you did. But if you do, you're going to be on the podcast. And we want to talk to you a little bit about this as our first official special guest, I guess. There it is. So anyway, if you're asleep or you're smartly avoiding this call, have a lovely evening. Bye.
That's good. See, you thought you screwed up. You did good.
I'm good at leaving messages for women.
Yeah. See, I don't like the way you say the word official.
Tim's got a girlfriend,
Like, this
everybody.
official, that changes things. I'm not backing out of it, but it just makes things sound scarier.
It's scary. Your heart skips a beat, right? When you have to put that title on it. You put a title on it. It's not official. It doesn't
How is
official.
Alfredo taking the news?
Oh, he's not taking it well. Not at all.
Alfredo has no leg to stand on when it comes to anything that has to do with relationships. I love Alfredo to death, but if there's one man that actually women swoon to more than Ty Root, it is Alfredo Diaz. Ty,
Yeah, man, that's-
I don't know what it is about Alfredo. I think it's because he represents like every ethnic
It's a
background in the
stupid
world.
smile.
He does have that goofy. Like no, he's got a really like he's like 19 things, so he
Yeah,
can
no,
look
he's
like
fu-
anything.
he
So
has
he's every
9
girl's like fantasy of the exotic guy. Because at first I saw him and I was like, oh, I think he's Mexican, right?
not. I
He's
mean,
not.
he's
Well,
part-
he is Diaz, but
Part
he's
Mexican,
not. He's
part
not.
Filipino, part black, part Chinese, part like all these things.
He's all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. He's like Blade.
none of the
He
bad
has all our greatest strengths and none of our weaknesses.
It's like Steven Dwarf hates him. What the fuck? What were we talking about?
Alfredo.
Oh yeah, so Alfredo's one of those guys that I mean, literally, I've seen him walk into Starbucks and have girls that are like, and again, this makes me feel great about myself. I'm like, I'll have a venti iced coffee unsweetened, no extra ice or anything, no milk, and they go, cool, and then I can just see that they're biding the time that I'm ordering to get to Alfredo, who is next in my line, and I've seen them ask for his phone number straight up off the bat, like.
What,
They talked to him for like 3 minutes, and then they just asked for his phone number.
Alfredo in Starbucks is just a conundrum.
He does well there.
He does very well there. I can't go to a Starbucks here. Like every time I'm out with Alexis, we'll go somewhere, and I'm like, "Oh man, that's Alfredo's ex-girlfriend." And she's
Really?
like, "This is a different girl," and I'm like, "Yeah." Everywhere we go in San Francisco, it's either Alfredo's ex-girlfriend or Alfredo's ex-girlfriend's best friend who hates him.
So, side note, Alexis, as I was leaving today, you know how we had to take the sexual harassment stuff at the office.
Oh, what a segue there! Yeah.
Have you done this? Right?
Segway, you work on this channel.
Jesus, man, pimp the brand.
Oh shit.
She's starting to do this new thing where she catcalls me. Have you seen her do this to me yet?
No.
It's unnerving. It is unnerving. For the first time, I'm like, I don't know that I like that. She'll go like this.
No, today when I
she do that to you?
walked by, she did that kiss thing to me, and I kissed back. She's like, "No, I'm trying to creep you out." I was like, "Oh, sorry."
Oh, it creeped me out.
I don't know
It
what
got
to
me
do.
a couple times. I was actually creeped out. I was like, I didn't think I could be, but she got me. It hit that
she's
like
good at
thing
that
where
shit.
I'm like I wanted to just cover up any part of me that might have been exposed and just run away.
Yeah.
So there's that.
There you go.
But Alexis, cool person, cool peeps,
Cool peeps.
good peeps. Who's left?
It's me and Colin. Colin, I'm gonna want you to close out the show.
Well, how long are we going though? I mean,
Yeah, this
should we
is
say?
a
hour
long
and a
one.
half. We go an hour and a half.
Oh,
That's
we're
the show.
we're pretty deep in.
I don't know, I was
already.
gonna say, do
How
we
deep
even
in
need to
are
go
we?
Anymore?
Oh, I want to give a shout out to Senora's Pizza before we move on.
Where's
So
that?
you're the
We're
second
an hour,
person
we're
who's
an hour
mentioned
and
this
20
recently.
in already. Hour
Senor,
18.
like born and raised SF, Senora's is it.
Really? I need
Yeah.
to try this pizza.
It's the good.
Well, yeah, if you want to keep going, Greg, that's why I was just saying we even need another topic today. But
Well, I mean, I don't know. Let's talk it out. We've never talked this out before.
it's,
So we're 120.
I believe you.
I don't
believe in a
care if
thing
we go
called
longer.
love,
I got nothing else.
and
I
the
got a
show is
sleeping wife at
long.
home.
all right, yeah, we can keep going. All right, you go.
Okay, we should talk this out. Is the podcast format that we go an hour and a half, or is that we go every topic? We go the 4 topics.
I mean,
what do we do when we introduce a 5th guest?
Yeah, we should just keep going, I guess. All right, go.
We can make them faster if you want.
No, it's okay. Whatever you want.
Mine is a tried and true one. This is you've wrestled with this with your friends before, but today we need to pick and talk about what the
Did you
cons are
backyard
and
wrestle
the
this with your
pros. No, I
friends?
did not at any point backyard wrestle this. If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Yeah.
What? No. Why are you saying no?
I'm not prepared to answer this.
I'll go first. I don't have a great answer. The best I've been able to come up with, and see, I come down to practical purposes.
Yeah.
Would
You
love.
gotta.
I would.
Because you're not going to go out there assault. You're not fighting crime. Let's
See,
be honest.
and that's
not
what it
gonna
comes
do it.
down to, right? There's a lot of concerns I have with all of these things. The best I ever came up with is that I would want Wolverine's healing factory, because you only get one, is what we're talking about, right? So I take Wolverine's healing factor and then go be a wrestler with it and do crazy stunts like
Oh, that'd be cool.
mankind
So
crap.
you want it for like personal gain?
Well, that's what we're just talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Like,
No, I'm just
I
saying,
don't
I'm
think,
clarifying.
honestly, with one superpower, I'm not sure if you can really do that much. If you're super speedy, what do? I guess you can still get into a fire and get somebody out.
No, but
fast.
you'd still asphyxiate. Like you take one deep, quick breath and you just fall. That's always the misnomer with Flash.
How that would happen?
Oh, the second you take a breath of smoke, it's gonna like mess
Oh,
you
well,
up
but
and-
no, you're moving so quickly though. You take a breath and you're running off.
Oh,
that
you
one
go
breath.
in, you come out. I see.
Yeah.
Okay,
that
makes
might
sense.
work.
That makes sense.
I'd like flight. If I didn't get. See, the problem with the Wolverine factor, right? Having the healing factor, my concern would be that if anyone ever got wind of it and caught me, I'd be fucked. I'd be over. You know what I mean? Because you live for pretty much ever, right? Like Wolverine's not.
Well, I don't think he
immortal.
lives forever, but yeah,
But
he
he's
lives.
like-
He has an expanded life.
By quite a bit, and I do not want to get into a situation where I'm in jail for life or something, or they find out that I have this power and keep
And
me in captivity.
you're a captive. That's always the problem with the superhero conundrum. Is
And
the second they find you, they're gonna.
If I could have it and be guaranteed not anything, I wouldn't ever, go into, like, I wouldn't be an outlaw just by having it. I wouldn't be a science experiment. I would want to fly. Fly would be cool.
Flying would be the best,
No more
I
Muni. No more public transit. Get up there, get a fresh breath of air every time. It'd be awesome.
So my wife's, not mine, but my wife who loves to travel but hates long plane flights was like teleportation. That's the one I'd want most. She goes, I don't care about like personal gain. Of course, you could rob a bank, I guess, if you wanted to. But she's like, to me, it would be worth it just to have this, so I didn't have to pay for long airline flights and sit for like 15 hours in coach.
Yeah,
now,
go anywhere you
granted, if we were wealthy, she would change it to something else because
Sure.
she loves first class. So she's like, I'd sit in first class for 16 hours because it's first class and it's awesome and it's a great feeling.
Sure.
Teleportation for her is great. I think I would pick super strength.
Okay.
And I think for the similar reasons why you would think was because I would probably become a fighter then and just beat the shit out of everyone, or a football player and just like,
Yeah,
because I always assume that super strength goes along with like being impervious, where you're not really like, if you're so tough, someone's gonna hit you, it's not gonna hurt,
Right.
So you could probably be like an all-star linebacker or an
Sure,
all-star like
sure.
running back. You could just kill it right on the linebacker. You probably be a running back. And just do whatever you want. No one could tackle you. It's awesome. And you do the same thing they did in like, what was that? Which was it? Smallville, where he played
Yep. Smallville.
Football, and they're like, dude, you gotta
Football.
Football.
Yeah. Well, they did an episode before that then they went back on for some reason. But yeah, there was a guy who had meteor powers who was like, basically he was a running back, I do believe, and he could, when he touched you, he could stun you, and so he would give off little stuns when he'd be running, and he won the Heisman or whatever and had a great career.
My only problem with flight is that unless you're strong, you're not saving anything. What are you gonna do? Like, you can't really be
Again, though, I don't. I think. I mean, what if you have super strength? What are you saving? You're.
I'm not saving anything. I'm personal, but I'm saying if you're going to be a superhero, you're like, I'm going to be the superhero that flies. What are you really going to do with that?
But
other than
again,
go from point A to point B and still be the guy that can't really punch someone without breaking his hand.
But I mean, you could still carry people. I mean, like,
I
yes,
can't, dude.
I can
can't.
carry
I
you.
can carry Tim for like 2 feet and then I drop.
Well,
him.
again, though, like, you're thinking that if you're a superhero, that means there's a bunch of supervillains that you need to punch. Like,
what am I going to do with
if
flight?
we're
All I'm
the
saying
only
is like,
superhero, we're the
super
only
strength
person
is the
with
only thing that
superpower.
could really probably benefit me, because then if someone's getting mugged, I can walk up to them and punch their head through the back of their like their skull through the back of their head, and they're dead or whatever, or I'm picking them up and throwing them or whatever. But like flying, I just fly in and they got a bullet and I'm dead. You know, fast might be the best thing actually. Let's be perfectly honest. Because then you can be like the best.
But
you can excel at sports. If you're fast.
here's the well, and you could also save lives, like we were saying.
Yeah, you could save lives.
But here's the downside to being fast, right?
If you want to do that.
If you were fast, I
lives.
don't know how happy you'd ever be again. You could never ride in a car with your friends. Invincible touches on this. How one time when Mark's still trying to keep a secret identity from his friend, they drive to college. And he's
And
just
it's
like,
so
I can't,
slow,
I can't
right?
believe how slow this car is, how long this trip is. He's like, it's 2 hours, dude. Fuck off. But like that would be the thing. If you could move, if you could make a second last an hour for you to get everything done in your day, and then dick around with video games or whatever, it's still there's gonna be load screens and there's gonna be car rides and
Yeah.
there's gonna be stupid shit.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
That's solid.
See, there was a great annual once for Superman that dealt with this, where Superman, you know, he had already come and gone, and then in the future there was this like League of Superman kind of thing, right? And they each took on one of his powers. And so that when they out in public, they were like doing all these great things. You know, the guy's X-raying through bombs, the other guy's shooting out heat vision, blah, blah, blah. But the problem was that when they were in private, they all had horrible downsides to this, right? The X-ray guy couldn't turn off X-ray vision. He had to wear lead glasses. The guy who did heat vision would occasionally have to open windows and shoot heat vision into the sky because it would just build up and I think kill him eventually, stuff like that.
Yeah.
There are double-edged swords here.
That is true.
Colin,
What would be the double-edged sword for teleportation, though? I don't think that would be.
Well, if we're going off the X-Men movie, like you can only see as far as your wife wouldn't be able to teleport easily to like, oh, I want to go to Rome. I'm in Rome because like she'd say that and go into
this
a
one,
wall.
No, we're not going to FX. We're going off of what was that one with Hayden Christensen? The movie Jumper. It would be like Jumper, where you can just if you've seen a picture of it or you've seen it, you just go there and you're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
Although there was an awesome episode of Wolverine and the X-Men where Nightcrawler had to teleport across. He could only do like 200 feet before he could see, and so he did the entire like Pacific Ocean.
Yeah,
because he just kept going from what was the island that Magneto owned?
Magneto Island.
No. New Geneva.
DC
is what it was.
comic.
I think it was. Anyway, he had an island. It wasn't a big thing in the space, and it was cool. It was cool. Genosha. New Genosha.
See, and
not
that was
Geneva,
my
excuse
argument.
me.
I mean, that would work,
Sorry,
but I'm
guys.
just saying it wouldn't be super easy. I don't think. You know what I mean? Like that is.
You're right. That's more of a burden. It's basically easier at that point. Fly.
Yeah.
You just go to. That's a good point.
And that's the other thing too of like how the other practicality of superhero powers, right, is like what is that doing to your body? Like, are you burning calories? Are you going to be exhausted? Can you really teleport that far? And you know,
I don't know. There's got to be some downside, right? Where you're like, you're not. It's not burning calories, but you're losing time or something like that, right?
Sure.
Where you get there, but you're still maybe like. It still took like 10 hours for your molecules to, or maybe you're the different. It's that concept of the transporting in Star Trek, where you're like you're technically a different person every time. You're killing yourself, and your bodies are reforming into a new mass, which is a new person. Have you heard this theory?
I've heard this theory.
Yeah, it's completely outlandish, and to me, it breaks the mythology. But there's got to be something bad about that, where your molecules are like dematerializing and rematerializing somewhere else. You might be a different person with no spirit.
This is another cool one from Invincible, right? That there's this girl in there called Adam Eve who can take.
I gotta read this series.
I love Invincible so much. But anyway, she can take any object, right, and change its, molecular structure to make it into something else or whatever, right? So she like at one point they're drinking coffee on a roof, and this is how she explains it to Mark actually, that he's drinking tea or coffee and he wants sugar, so she picks up some leaves and changes it into sugar and drops it in. And he asks this great question that I would have never thought of. It was like she explains her powers that she's rearranging molecules, and he goes, well, what if there's like leftover. What if there's like leftovers? You know what I mean? Like it's not like one in is one out.
Sure.
Yeah. She's like, well, let's just say if I use my powers a lot in a day, it's not uncommon for me to use the bathroom like 5 times. And he goes, gross.
That's really so. It goes straight.
Yeah.
through.
So there's like
so she can't take a car and make it into a mouse.
Well, she
Otherwise,
could,
she's
but then she have to go to the bathroom, I guess, or whatever.
Oh, that's
Shut out
awesome.
That car.
She's gonna what?
Shut that car.
Boom.
Right out the boom.
It might
Shit
only be
up a
organic
Passat.
matter. I forget.
I just shit
It's been
up
a
a
while.
Passat.
It's a liquid Passat.
Colin, what's yours? Did you do yours already?
I don't know. Telekinesis would be pretty cool.
Oh, you want to be able to read-
Telekinesis would be
You
awesome.
would pick that though. You want to know what people are thinking.
No.
Telekinesis? No. Which one's
Telekinesis is moving things
moving
with your
things.
mind.
Which one's the one reading minds?
Telepathic.
Telepathic.
No, I
That would be especially handy. But that's one of the ones
Every
where
X-Men comic, I hate it when it's just like Jean Grey and freaking Xavier and all this stuff. They can do anything.
But Colin, do you just want telekinesis that you don't have to get up to get another beer when you're watching the Jets game?
No, I think it would be cool to. I think that would be practical and also just cool. Be about as close as you can get to being a Jedi.
Oh, there you go.
Think
yeah.
about
Yeah,
Darth
Jedi
Maul opening that door in the fight at the end of Episode 1. How he just launches
just
that.
boom,
He just
boom.
It's I actually really love that one shot of him when he just points at the thing and sends it to the it hits the panel on the door. It's like very subtle and I didn't even notice it the first time I saw it.
It's one of the coolest things. One of the coolest like choreographed motions they could have possibly put in that fight.
Yeah,
and I know we've talked about this. You guys have talked about this a little bit. We might have actually talked about
we
it.
talked about it on this show.
Did we?
We ranked the Star
Still,
Wars.
again, Darth Maul should have had more screen time. He should have been
had the trilogy.
He should have been in the trilogy.
100%.
He was
and
an
he should have
awesome
fought,
character.
Anakin and him should have fought at the end of Episode 3.
Yeah, 100%.
No reason to have Grievous or
Count Dooku.
or Count Dooku in it.
And he
at all.
should have. That would have been a great thing too, because he could have gotten to a situation where like he was vulnerable, and then Anakin chose to kill him, and that was the completion of,
I mean, essentially, they
him
did
to the dark
that,
side,
but with
like
Dooku
Luke.
instead.
Yeah, like it was.
Yeah, but that was lame. That was
Yeah.
just like, who cares about Dooku? He was
Nobody.
he was a poorly set
Had a
of
little
character.
limp lightsaber.
But man, Maul was badass.
Yeah, Maul was
Ray
awesome.
Park, what a badass.
Yeah, Ray Park was awesome, and he was the only good part of any of the trilogy. But anyway, I digress. Tim.
I want to make little firecrackers with my hands.
You want to be like Jubilee?
Oh, get out of
You
here.
wanna be Jubilee?
Yeah.
Jubilee
I don't know.
love.
This is such a hard question. Like,
Tim, it's not hard. It's not.
It is hard.
What do you
because-
like most? What do you in
No,
life?
I mean, okay, I can say a bunch of bullshit. Like
I think you would be. No, I think you'd be.
Stuff. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. Because this is one of those questions. Since you're a little kid, you think about. But then Greg's right. You got to think about all these other things that you don't know.
Because we're
And it
adults now.
changes
Uh oh.
everything.
Wait, Kara said something.
Yeah.
It's just like,
You and your shenanigans. Lucky my phone happened to be on silent. I thoroughly enjoyed the voicemail.
yeah, she's watching.
Signed, Tim's
She's
girlfriend.
watching some bullshit.
Well, I
Just
hope
watching some bullshit.
Tim,
Smartly avoiding the call while watching People's Choice Awards is my answer. And, there you go.
I appreciate that, but taking that out of it, because when you were a kid, you didn't give a shit about any of that stuff. You didn't care about the repercussions of having like,
Yeah, but when I
if
was
someone
like- when I
found
was a
out you
kid, I
had
didn't
healing
think of any of,
factors.
like the really cool stuff. It was just like, oh, any of these are cool. You know?
For you, since you love making content and you wish that you could everything you made was like at 2 million views, I would
Yeah.
say, what is like being able to will people to do things that you want them to do?
That's
So like
Slavery
getting everyone in
stuff.
San Francisco to watch
Yeah.
one of your videos would be amazing.
Jesus,
telepath-
that's the supervillain stuff, though.
Hey, you said power. Well, I guess
True.
you said power, but
you
superpower.
did
there.
say, you did say.
I will say one of the a really cool power is like Magneto's. I think that's really interesting.
But
because
the thing
he
I always
uses
had
it in
was-
such crazy, unique ways. Like to me, it's like, oh, great, you control like metal things. Who cares? But then he does some crazy shit, like, oh, I'm gonna use the iron in my body and stuff.
Yeah, it was
Good
awesome.
for him.
My thing about Magneto's power was the same problem I always had with Superman's power. Superman, which was, and you can answer this question for me. This is a legitimate question.
Oh, God.
Is he as powerful on another planet as he with not our sun, like with a red sun, as he is on Earth?
No, he'd be a human being.
So
He'd
that
be,
sucks to me.
yeah, no, totally. That's one of his weaknesses.
That's
yeah,
why
he's
I would
powered
not
by
want
Earth's
to
yellow
be
sun.
Superman
Okay.
when it
Fuck
comes down to it.
Superman.
Fuck you.
I'd
Superman's dumb.
I don't even
I don't
care
like
what you say.
Superman.
Also, as far as it goes, though, like, actually, let me stop you. What are your thoughts on the Green Lantern? Because to me, if you're not a superpowered, you're not a superhero.
Yeah.
If your power comes from a ring.
Green Lantern, I think, if you see, this is an interesting thing because
Yeah.
we were saying what superpowers would you want to be. If we were to say what superhero would you want to be, I'd want to be Green Lantern.
Why?
Because Green Lantern has all the benefits of being a Superman or whoever, but not as many of the drawbacks. He will die. He can die. He can't be a normal human. The problem with being Superman, right, is that we do roll the dice of how much do I feel? You know what I mean? What are my limitations?
Right.
Do I always have to be
Can't
thinking
have
when
sex. You really can't have sex.
I think you could,
He
but
did in the comic books, right? At some
yeah,
point,
and he
but-
did in Smallville. But there's definitely he could, but they talk about this on Smallville and in a million other things too, right? Like he has to be cognizant of that at all times.
Yeah.
At no point can he get lost in that moment because he could break somebody in it like a twig in 2 seconds, and that.
Split him like a canoe. You know what I mean?
Yes, that is also true. But Green Lantern, right? Like Green Lantern, you could peel off, like it's a weakness. Don't get me wrong. You could take off the
Huge
ring.
weakness. What if you lose the ring? You're like, ah, shit.
Well,
I guess you can will it to you, but
Well, but here's the thing I've always thought about that, right? What I would do is if I was Green Lantern, what I would when I got my ring and I put on my power ring, I would will it to drive into my bone so that it would always be attached. To take it off, you'd have to take off my hand.
that sucks because then someone takes off your hand.
Well,
to get it.
I'm already screwed by that point.
I guess you're saying it's
I would have
I would have no return. It's too late.
exactly.
It's too late at that point.
Will a shield all around you all the time? Yeah.
No,
But
I would not.
The
pick
only
Green
downside to
Lantern.
being
I'd pick
Green
Wonder Woman
Lantern-
because she's like, oh, I guess it's the same problem with.
She's got that win.
I wouldn't pick Wonder Woman, but like her powers, I guess it's the same with Superman though.
Oh, yeah.
Same as Superman. Same drawback, as
Yeah.
in you can't touch a normal human being.
but
Because she dated Batman at some point, right? There's a little Batman.
In
her-
Justice League, yeah.
Yeah,
The
that was
cartoon.
hot.
Yes.
Hot.
But there's
Don't look at the other people. You know it was hot.
No, I'm with you. I'm
Okay.
100%. I love that relationship. I
love
thought that
them.
was awesome.
to me the superheroes that are coolest and the supervillains that are coolest still, and we've talked about this a million times, are the ones that are grounded in reality though. So if I could choose to be a superhero, I'd be like Batman or something like that.
But see that, but like Batman's whole life is torture all the time. You know, now granted, you're just not a happy person to begin with. I always talk about it, right? That I'm Superman and you're Batman. And you're always like, oh, one of us is totally contemporary and cool. And I mean more like I'm always trying to look for the good in people, and you're always like, fuck everybody, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like everyone Batman knows is going to die in a horrible way. Batman's villains are always going to come back and kill a
But what
million.
about, all right, so like Iron Man would be pretty cool too.
Iron Man would be good.
Or villains like the Shocker.
God damn it.
My favorite of all Marvel supervillains.
I I like.
He's not even a supervillain. He is just
no,
a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's
I
like,
think
Sinister Six, bruh.
he's running away with his bag of money with a symbol on it.
There's a comic book series now called The Superior Foes of Spider-Man, and it's the Sinister Six as it is now, but there's only 5 of them, and it's all just B-rate people led by the Shocker. Or not led by, but he's one of the main guys, and it's hilarious because it's just them fucking up.
The Sinister Six that I remember though was like what? Rhino, Sandman,
Octopus.
yeah, Mysterio.
I was gonna say Mysterio. Yeah.
Doctor Octopus, Mr. Sinister, right?
Was Mr. Sinister ever?
Mr.
No, he
Sinister
wasn't the
was
Sinister
He was
Six.
like an X-Men villain.
Oh, okay, no.
Vulture was in there for a little
Vulture
bit.
might
There's
have
always
been.
a ton of them. Then Scorpions.
I
And
thought
bunch.
Mr. Sinister was their leader. Who is he the leader?
Electro's
And
in
Mr.
it.
Sinister was the
Yeah.
guy who was like harnessing all the X-Men for their powers to make the ultimate like mutant.
Okay, and Chameleon.
Yes.
He was one of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I know a little something. I know a little more than I let on.
He was
Well,
yeah, he
Marvel
did.
though, not real heroes, not real stuff.
I prefer DC.
not real
though.
comics.
I like DC better.
The only reason I like the only reason I'll tell you that I think the best
Marvel.
villain on the planet ever written though is Magneto though, because he's not a villain. He actually is the hero. He is the hero of his own story.
Yeah.
He is the guy who thinks he's doing right. He's not trying to be an evil asshole and take over the world. He's just fighting versus people.
But-
And I always found that ultimately really, really compelling.
See, here's my thing to that though.
I'm gonna hand this back.
Yeah,
This
of
giant
course.
jug of bourbon back to you.
I think Lex in good Superman stories, Lex is the same way. Lex is out there to save the human race from the alien invaders, the alien invasion. This
Yeah, but I
this
always thought
Superman
he used that as a
isn't-
red herring to like really take over the world. Like that was his political agenda.
Well, in
so
the
that he could
end,
take
yeah,
over the
he
world.
wants to be in charge of the world because he thinks it'll make it a better place. Granted, if he ever gets it, he fails.
an
Like
egomaniac.
in the hit MMO, DC Universe Online.
Still playing that one, are you?
I am. They just released Game Update 33 tonight. I can't wait to go play.
What was the God? There was an alternate universe episode of Justice League where he comes back.
One of the
And they're
Crime
like-
Syndicate? What?
I can't, no, he was from an alternate
Injustice
dimension where
Lords.
he's from like the opposite dimension where he's actually good,
Yeah.
and they try to kill him because he killed Flash or something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that was it. I can't remember, but it was really good. I
Yeah.
remember it being good. I love the Justice League cartoon.
Yeah. Are you?
God, it
You
was
should
good.
read Injustice, the comic book. Yeah, it's like
You were talking about that. You were saying out of all the comic books
So
they've
good.
done recently, that was actually
and
really good.
It just came back for its second season or whatever.
All right, I'll
It
get it.
started off so strong. It's so good.
They have it in digital.
Yep, that's
Is it
where-
like
yeah.
is it $19 a comic book? Like
It's 99 cents because they
Marvelous.
release them in chapters.
Okay.
But you can buy bundles now.
Marvel's for a while
They're still expensive.
really expensive, and for a for
They got
something
a
you
lot
can,
of really good stuff going right now, though.
do they?
Like there's stuff that
But
I'd say is-
DC
Well,
drew
here's-
the line.
And this is
at
this. You know what? I'm
$2.99.
going to save this one for another show. But I've always wanted to ask you too, because you guys read a lot of comic books, right? Give me the rundown of how to start reading comic books. Not now. I'll save that for
we'll
another
save it
show.
for
But that's
I
what I
will
want to
say,
know. For someone who's
recently-
never read a comic book, or
He
has
said,
not read
"Save it for another
No, this-
show.
this-
Get your
this-
Marvel
save that for
fucking
another show. I'm
gospel
saying.
out of here."
This the Batman is awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
going
Scott
Batman
Snyder.
now. But I just started reading the all new X-Men. Do you
Yeah,
read this?
yeah. All New X-Men is actually awesome.
It is awesome, and it's just like
Tell him, give him the setup. He'll like the setup.
Well, okay.
Give me the spiel.
the-
Whet
the
my
quick
appetite,
spiel
as they say.
Is Cyclops is now the leader of the bad guys?
Really?
Yeah, because it's
Okay.
some crazy shit that happens. And then
Because there's some crazy shit
Beast,
that happens.
Beast is like, damn, there's no way our homie's doing this. This sucks. We need to change this.
Direct line.
Yeah, we need to go.
I see-
Damn,
I
there's
assumed
no
so.
way our homie's doing this. What do you mean,
And
doctor?
What? No.
Beast thought he was like dying and stuff, so he's just like, oh man, and with my dying breath, I'm gonna go back in time, get the original Cyclops, bring him now, so he can talk to himself and be like, dude, stop. And he's like, yeah, it's a perfect plan. So they do that. They go back, get the original like 5, 6 X-Men, bring them to present time, and then it causes all these crazy.
It's this
paradoxes.
awesome time story now of people who, like they're talking to Jean Grey and they're like, "We'll do this," and she's like, "How could I do that?" And he's like, "Oh right, you don't know how to do that yet."
Yeah.
Like they're like, "Oh, there's
That's
all these
cool.
like,
Like,
it's
she doesn't have
awesome."
Powers. It's like then she realizes she dies. She's like, she finds out she dies.
Come close to the mic.
It's crazy though. And then I don't want to spoil anything, but eventually, like the storyline that is now keep going on, the X-Men from the future come to the present time too. So there's 3 sets of certain of the X-Men, and it is awesome.
Is Wolverine one of the X-Men?
Yeah, Wolverine's the leader of the good guys.
See, did you watch Wolverine and the X-Men? There's one season of this show that was on TV, and it got canceled because it's too, I guess, excuse me, in which all of, like, Professor X, something happens in the very first episode. Professor X and Jean Grey disappear. Some explosion happens, and you have no idea what's going on, and Wolverine has to lead the X-Men. And he doesn't know how to, he doesn't want to because he's Wolverine. He's like, I'm not the leader. I'm the guy that like goes in to like kill people. and it's awesome. I thought it was really, really good. And they do with that, it's the Age of Apocalypse kind of backward where he's talking to Professor X in the future, and what happened was he got teleported to the future. It's a whole thing, but I thought it was really, really good. And like everything I love in life, they canceled it after one season, which totally sucks. But if you guys have a chance on Netflix, you should check it out. It's really good.
And Spectacular Spider-Man because it's amazing.
And Ultimate Spider-Man because it's just a great escape. They have a
Never
Die
watched
Hard
that
reference in one of the episodes. It was amazing.
It's horrible.
Colin,
Yeah.
what was your topic tonight? Did we go to
We're
you
getting
already?
to it. We haven't gotten to
Do
it.
we want to do it, or do we want to just save it for another show?
I mean, we can keep talking about that.
Here's the thing. How do you think it's a long one? Should we save it? Do you want us to save it?
I don't think it should be a long one. It's a
No, let's
serious
talk
one.
about it then. We're only 140.
I like the idea that every show isn't. I like that our minimum time delivered ever is an hour and a half. But we want to get through all 4 topics.
I'm having a good time. I'd like to hear your topic if that's okay, Colin.
Yeah, it's last week's episode was like 145.
We should absolutely right now though. We should order a pizza if that's possible because I'm.
Oh, Mr. Salad.
I'm joking about that.
Sure you are.
I'm sure you are.
Hold on.
starving.
There is a piece of pizza from last night left over
I might
and
eat
a
that.
whole bunch of chicken wings.
Okay. Oh, I'll eat the chicken wings
Yeah.
for sure.
Earlier tonight, we're driving here, and we're ordering.
Don't.
Can we please, Nick?
Go ahead. He's pulling up his thing.
We're ordering some food,
Yeah.
and the three of us we
It's
order
underdogs.
I get a
Underdogs
chicken
great. Nick's
burrito.
Crispy Tacos.
He gets what'd you get?
Pork burrito.
Pork burrito. He gets a cheeseburger burrito.
Right.
Because that's awesome.
And then I have to pass the phone to Nick Scarpino, who tells the bar we're ordering from he'd like a bed of lettuce and 3 servings of chicken on top.
It was grilled chicken, and to which he replied, "I don't have grilled chicken because they just have that pulled chicken, which I think is complete rubbish. It's grilled or not. It's grilled or nothing." So I told him carne asada. What? The only reason I wanted that was because I was craving just lettuce and protein. I don't want all the crazy tortilla stuff. I want to stay nimble for the podcast so I can think, and not be weighed down by a cheeseburger burrito. Greg has no problem with
Look
it.
at
but
me
he's
bouncing
superhuman.
around. I'm fine.
I have to. I'm also sitting on the sides here, and I feel like that bows me out a little bit. So I have to be like 10 to 15, maybe 35, 75 pounds lighter than I am right now. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
not a big deal.
Don't
Now
make
you just
it.
want pizza and wings. Anyways, Colin, topic.
That's what
do you
always
got for
happens.
me?
That's why I always stay the same weight. Because I just binge.
So I've been encouraged by a lot of people on Twitter to stay with the serious and intellectual topics, and so I'm going to.
You are a serious and intellectual person.
But this is the first one I also thought about with a title in mind for the podcast. But
Okay.
We already have our title. So.
Sure.
Do you know who Alexis de Tocqueville is by chance? Have you ever heard of
no
that
idea.
name before?
I don't.
So Alexis de Tocqueville was a French writer, and he was one of the in the 1830s, 1840s. He traveled to America, and he was here for a long time. And he wrote a series of books about life in America. And he was one of the first people to tell Europeans about what it was like in the United States, like because they didn't really know. And obviously, the traveling here was very weird, and the United States was growing independently of Europe. And he wrote a lot about what would end up being known as American exceptionalism, and the idea that Americans thought that they were better than everyone else.
Still do.
And so I wanted to ask you what you think of American exceptionalism. And here's how Wikipedia
Defines it.
defines it.
Sure.
American exceptionalism is the theory that the United States is qualitatively different from other states. In this view, U.S. exceptionalism stems from its emergence from a revolution becoming what political scientist Seymour Martin Lipset calls the first new nation, and developing a uniquely American ideology, Americanism based on liberty, egalitarianism, individualism, republicanism, populism, and laissez-faire. Although the term does not necessarily imply superiority, many neoconservatives and American conservative writers have promoted its use in that sense. To them, the United States is like the biblical shining city upon a hill and exempt from historical forces that affect other countries.
So my thoughts on this are, you always hear that argument of, is the United States the dominant superpower, right? Which you have talked about a number of times. And for all intents and purposes, we're not. China is up and coming. China's got a lot more economic value to its. They're doing a lot more stuff. To me, America is not. It's not about are we better than anyone else. It's about sort of do we have the mentality that we can be, like every single person in this country thinks that we have it in us to be the best country, and that's why this place is so special to me. Anyone can come here who has that driving spirit to want to do better than he did yesterday, and he can call himself an American, and that's the power of our country to me. And that's why I don't agree necessarily with the concept that you just read, but I think we have it in us and always will have it in us to be the best country on this planet forever.
That sounded awesome. I really liked that.
Yeah, it's good.
I zoned out for a second there. I blacked out. Was it good?
No, it was good.
No,
Yeah,
that's-
that's how you debate.
That's how you debate.
No, I mean, I think Nick puts it in a good place, but I think, he said, it's about can we be better than America's about can we be the best country? Can we be this? I think America's about we, right? That's what it is. I don't even think that most Americans, to whether it be good or bad, don't think about the rest of the world. This is always the thing that you can't explain to someone else from another country, because we're lucky enough to have fans from around the world. Thank you so much. But when we're on a podcast and we say something about the UK and we don't mention Ireland or whatever, they get offended, and it's like we really don't know the difference from that. And that's a detriment to obviously the American educational system, that it's not driven home more, I think, what is happening in the rest of the world, how these other countries interact, what it all comes down to. But it's also driven out because we're so prideful of what we do and what we are and where we came from, right? And I do love America, and I think that is driven into a lot of people, the patriotism of we all, like, we talked about this when we were playing BioShock, and even just in general, the way that no other country really looks back at its founders like we do. We really do put them on a pedestal like gods, like they do in BioShock Infinite and stuff, right? Like this, they are larger than life. They are these things that they were just men who did this, but they did something so crazy and gave us so much that Benjamin Franklin and, I was going to say Thomas Edison because I've been drinking, Jefferson, you look back at these people and
I would have gone with that.
You would have just been like, yeah.
Edison rocks that.
And the guy who made the English muffin.
He signed that.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, there is something to this country that you are super proud of it. You know what I mean? And like, you are proud of what it is. And that's, for me, where I get super offended when we start talking about people who and I know this is such a stupid thing to say, but it boggles my mind that there's still racism, and that we're, like, for legal immigrants, that we're such assholes to them and all this other stuff. And it's just like, motherfucker, pretty much everyone's ancestors came here from Ellis Island to find a better life in bootstraps and build something and yada yada yada. And you're like so offended that this guy wants to drive your cab or do whatever to make a better life for his family, so his family can go be doctors, whatever. You know what I mean? Like that, and that's what it's all about. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, I cannot follow up what either of you guys said with anything nearly as intelligent and well thought out.
Should we call your girlfriend back?
No.
Maybe we should.
She lives in Texas. That's Mr. America.
Yeah, it's pretty American there.
Texas is about as American as it gets.
Yeah.
Stars and stripes.
But I agree with you what you were saying about the racism. Like, I don't understand how racism's still a thing.
I think,
and it's like, I know that it is. I'm just saying, like, I don't understand how
you're that short-sighted of it. You can't be like 3 generations ago you didn't exist here either.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But you have to also understand, as Colin will probably point out, that we're not the newest country, right?
No, we're the first republic, like the first modern republic.
But in the grand scheme of things, the United States of America.
No, we're not even remotely the newest. Every country that was in the Soviet
Union. No, I mean, as far as like the bigger, as far as superpowers go, we are the latest of them all, right?
No, Canada would be newer, and
I guess is
Mexico,
Canada considered a superpower?
And Australia, and I'm just saying, there's a lot. Like, we're not.
No offense, Canada. We just don't know much about you.
Don't know.
Because
that's the other thing. I didn't learn a lot about geography.
Nice.
But I don't think you're taught it in schools.
Anyway,
right?
my point was this: we are a relatively young country still.
Oh yeah, we're
in the grand scheme
very
of things,
young
right?
in the European tradition,
right?
Which is what is most important to us.
What we could use, evidently, is stronger geography lessons in school, because apparently I have no idea what I'm talking about when any of that stuff happens. I also didn't learn a lot about grammar. True story. When that email went around today, I had to look up all those things. Doesn't matter.
But verbs?
No, there was. Well, so when I was young, I never really paid attention in school, and I specifically didn't pay attention to like grammar school when we were learning grammar. So the differences between what types of verb do what and what those designations are still sort of elude me. I find myself more and more as I get older and as I start creating more content and wanting to speak a little bit more eloquently, trying to research a little bit more about the English language, which is fascinating because I know you went to journalism school. So you're clearly up to speed on it.
No. See, that's the thing. I went the opposite direction.
Really?
Where my life was journalism school and the AP book and getting the new AP book and seeing what they changed and doing this.
Sure.
And like you come to IGN, I'll never forget that first time when I turned in. I'm like, hey, here, Roper, here's my review. He's like, cool, publish it. I'm like, nobody reads these over, and he's like, no. I'm like, what about style? He's like, yeah. Like, holy shit. That's why there's like 4 different versions of OK on IGN at any time. And so like I've been there 7 years now.
Wow.
Nobody cares about it at all.
See, to me, that's actually one of those things. I don't know if you guys have this thing about yourself.
People care about it now. I'm sorry. I'm talking about in the beginning.
No, I mean, they were the Doug Perry years. Oh, sorry. That's going to come back to haunt me. There are those things in normal conversation that I get nervous about, right? Grammar is one of those things. When someone says, oh, you used the wrong adjective there, I'm like...
Does somebody really say that to you?
Sometimes it happens.
That's a dick. You should tell them to fuck off. Yeah. That's the big thing about what we do is like what.
Or like for instance, like I got an argument with someone the other day when they were talking about. I said I feel bad, and they were like, "No, it's badly," and I'm like, "I don't think it is." And then I looked it up and I was right, but I was like, I didn't know at the time that I was right. because I was talking about the emotional state of being, of feeling bad, not how I actually feel the action of feeling. And so that was the whole thing. But I'm like, oh my God, if I'm wrong about that, what else am I wrong about? And then it starts to spiral downward of like, I'm losing confidence in myself.
I mean, there's the thing that there's conversational English, and that's, I think, what most of what we do as a professional in a day job is. Sure. And whether that's right or wrong, that's somebody else to decide. But I always talk about it, right? Like I sit down and I talk and write like I'm talking and writing in my basement to my friend Bo. What am I telling you about right now? You know what I mean? And when in that grand scheme of things, am I ever going to say, well, since this, but if you since you have a beard, I'm going to say this, and he's going to go, no, Greg, it's because you have a beard. Since would imply time, Nick.
Wow.
Right?
See,
like,
you know these things.
And it's like,
Did you know
fucked.
that?
Who's calling that? It's like I used to have
not a day that goes by that I don't say less, and Per Schneider,
goes
who is
fewer.
our amazing SVP of IGN, goes fewer. He says fewer.
Yeah.
It's fewer, Nick. It's fewer.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's more or less.
But
if you wanted to write, that's the difference between you and I. You and me. Excuse me. There you go. See, there's another one. If you wanted to write a novel right now, you could, to whatever potential you wanted to.
Sure,
I would still be behind. I don't think I could write eloquently. I don't think I could.
I see. I don't even. You and me. Why is it not you and I?
I think it's you and me.
It is you.
Why?
Yeah, it's because it's a long
It's a
story.
whole long thing. I got corrected on that one. That was one of the things.
I still get corrected in tweets about that all the time. Like that is still like it's one of those things for me. Magazine editing, going through and learning, and having to do all that. I always felt like like in Die Hard or whatever, when like you're hit and you're bleeding, but you're just trying to make it out alive. That's totally what those classes were. It's like I'm always on the verge of bleeding out here. I just need to get through, learn enough to get through.
Yeah.
At my desk at work, if you open up my drawer, there's still a green folder in there that has all my magazine editing notes that I kept with me when I was a newspaper reporter that I brought with me.
Which one? There's a book they do every.
AP Style Guide.
That's what you're.
Oh
okay,
yeah.
Like
No, I mean I have an AP Style Guide, but I have a folder of notes that I've written of things that I had weaknesses with that I wanted to keep up on. But what I'm talking about is like it's a muscle I haven't flexed in so long that I'm totally not like I'm no better than anybody else anymore now. I wouldn't trust me. Anyways, back to American exceptionalism.
Come right back to it.
I think that's part of being American. You know what I mean? That we all do.
Not
think
worrying
that,
about grammar.
Yeah, 100%. No, in a lot of ways it is. Like, right? Like, we'll blaze our own path. We're going to do our own thing. Whatever.
Well, I think what a lot of people lose sight of with Americans is, we came up from this revolution isolated from the rest of the world, and like in a literal sense, we were separated by an ocean from the world at the time, which was Europe, and that allowed us to create our own sense of identity. A lot of people don't realize that even American English is actually old. And it's not old English, literally OLDE English. It's like the English that was being spoken in the 18th century. Our version of English is actually older than British English, and people didn't speak with British accents in the United States. Or in Britain back then, they spoke like we speak. So
when did they break?
So British people started speaking with the accent to. There's a whole. I think I sent out an article on Twitter a while ago about this, but like they started speaking out with this accent to to differentiate themselves from lower class people, and it ended up being like the whole different way they speak. So, but. This growing up in isolation in the 19th century, which is when Alexis de Tocqueville came over and told everyone what America was like in England, you're only 17, 18 miles away from France over the channel or whatever. Like France is next to Holland and Belgium's next to Germany and Germany.
Which, by the way, every single time my Italian relatives come over, they don't understand the sheer scale of what the continent, like the United States of America, is.
Sure.
Like
they hop on a plane 2 hours later, they're in Amsterdam if they want, whatevs.
Yeah, and it's just not like that here, and it certainly wasn't like that as we were coming of age as a country.
Sure.
But what really bothers me is that people are down on Americans. They think we're stupid. A lot of people think we're fat, stupid, and like all these things. And that frustrates me because some of us are fat, some of us are stupid. But a lot of people take for granted.
I'll take that one.
This is the thing that always bothers me. A lot
stupid.
of people take for granted like the things we've given this world as Americans, and a lot of that comes from our entrepreneurial spirit, our free enterprise
our work
system.
ethic. We have a insane work ethic, comparatively speaking.
We are a small R republic that is a people's republic, in not the communist sense. That allows a sense of democracy, a sense of pulling yourself up. You can get rich, you can be poor. There are winners, there are losers. Those kinds of things, and that system allows, like Greg said, for immigrants to come over here, like my parents, great grandfather, whatever, did during the Civil War and all those kinds of things, to make a better life for themselves, which is awesome. That's what people still do today. But everyone, my favorite thing to always say is like people talk shit like fat stupid Americans as they're tweeting on Twitter, the American company with the computer that was invented in the United States, on the internet that the American military invented, with all these things.
Al Gore.
It's like, you know, like that kind of shit like really bothers me. Whatever. I'm being specific. The World Wide Web was invented.
Let's be honest,
the internet
though.
was invented.
We do have people in this country that could stand to lose a few. You know.
Sure. No, I mean,
And when we go to other countries, we are not the most. I mean, I don't want to generalize, but I'll speak just for myself on this one. I am not the most courteous person when I go to other countries. I enjoy being the loud American in the room that did not learn the language of the people that I'm around. I didn't pay them the courtesy of even knowing how to say excuse me or may I have this thing, right? And so
I'm guilty of that too when I go overseas.
But that happens here too. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Totally understand. But again, I think it comes down to size of the country, right? Like we are so large that there are pockets of people who in the Midwest, you know, maybe you don't travel, maybe you never go to France, maybe you never do this, you know what I mean? Or if you do,
I was with a group in Southern California. There's a lot of people I know that never travel outside of the 40-mile radius of where they have to work and live.
So again, like when we're talking about people who are like that, right? Which I would have been, right? If I hadn't ever come to IGN or if I never took this job. If I was a daily newspaper reporter, I'd never be going anywhere. You know what I mean? Except for like big time vacation, right? Once every 7 years or whatever. But if we're talking about those people, right? What is their motivation to learn about something else? You're in the middle of the country. You're never going anywhere else. For what your daily needs are and what you need to do to survive and understand your country and blah, blah, blah. What would you ever need to know about what is going on in another country unless it's a war or, you know, something that's that kind of level or the collapse in Greece that may bring down the entire economy? Like, that's the difference. You know what I mean? And so, like, I think the fact that, real quick, sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That, you know, you're living in Italy and then you know everything about what's going on around you is because, like, it would be the similar fact of if you lived in Illinois and knowing what was happening in Wisconsin and Indiana and all these other states
you
around
tend to know the things that directly affect you.
Right.
You have to. But that's the thing that when I met my wife, she had traveled a lot. Oh, speaking of the devil. Look at that.
Stop playing with your toys. Come home.
She's like, what? She's quite a bad.
By the way, every impression any of us have done of any other person we know, whether it be male or female, I think you did a pair one earlier, have just been the worst impressions of those people.
We're not good. We're not good at impressions.
At some point,
Mine's always the same impression.
Colin's impression of his girlfriend went from just a normal, like, little higher pitch, and then he started putting, like, the New York accents on things. It was awesome.
You went New York Jewish person. That's what
I did a really
No,
bad
no,
tie earlier too.
I laughed in the kitchen the other day.
Ties is the easiest.
Your girlfriend was talking. Wonderful woman. Love her. Love living with her. But she was like, blah, 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 coffee. And I was like, she talks like Mike Myers on SNL.
My earlier point was going to be, you know, when I first met my wife, she had lived in Vienna. She had lived in England. She had lived in a couple places.
She loves that sausage.
No, she's not a big fan.
Vienna sausage.
Yeah.
They make the
No,
portillos.
she actually said she used to go she'd just eat cheese and bread.
Oh, that's
and then
good.
occasionally she'd have some chocolate. She loved it. But she will kill, you know, she always hates when I say things like that. When I get, you know, you go to America, we kind of tend to overdo it. I'll get like my pride built up and I'm like, we're the best country on the planet. I don't need to know anything about anything else that's going on. Everyone should know what's happening to us. And she goes, that's just so damn one-sided. Like there's a whole other world out there that's not the United States of America, and there's so many wonderful things to see and experience, and there's so many wonderful people to meet that you really can't. You got to stop being closed-minded. But because of her, I am more open-minded. Had I not met her, I don't know who I would be. She is the one that has brought me out of my shell, so to speak, and she's the one that wants to go to Paris for, you know, next year's Christmas and things like that. And I'm like, I'm down for it because, you know, I'm open to the idea now because of that. Had I not been for her, stay right here in the old U.S. of A. for the rest of my life.
Eat a burrito.
Yeah, I mean,
Burrito, America's burritos.
Is there any way for us to edit out that first high five? Because that was awful. No, we did it. We ghosted the first one, and then we nailed it.
Yeah.
But like the first one,
That was prep.
I mean, to me, you know, we have, you know, people like to bring up we have a very sordid history in this country, you know, of racism and bigotry.
right?
There's no doubt about that.
Sure. I saw The
And-
Butler.
Yeah.
Which one's the boat?
And
That's the one that, like, it goes through the ages and basically, like, follows the civil rights movement.
oh, I thought that you were making a joke of some kind.
but there's
No.
But,
That's not funny.
It's a pretty strong film.
Not a good
but
joke.
what people seem to misunderstand about a lot of the things in our history is that there are people that are always trying to fight these bad things, and people seem to focus on. I guess what I'm saying is people seem to focus on a lot of the bad things about America and Americans. You know,
Sure.
For the Confederates that seceded during the Civil War and left, you know, 2.5 or 3% of the United States died during that war to bring them back in. Like I was telling Greg the other day, that's about 12 million people if we fought the Civil War today died.
a conversation with Colin every Tuesday and Thursday on GameOverGreggy.com.
Like that's, 3% of the population died to get them back and like stop slavery. You know what I mean? Like, so there were righteous people alongside the people, even in Jim Crow America, which was a terrible place. There were people in the North trying to stop that. People seem to forget, as we get made fun of that, we went to Europe. We didn't have to do that in World War II. We went to Europe. We had our own war to fight in the Pacific, but we went to Europe and helped over there. We didn't have to do that. There's like, we give billions of dollars of aid to almost every third world country in the world every year. We give food aid even to our enemies like North Korea every year. Like, we do really good things. And so I just want people to keep in context. Like, is there something better about Americans or America than other places or other people? No. It's not in our DNA. It's about our system. It's not a coincidence that we're the richest country in the history of humankind. It's not a coincidence that our military is the strongest in human history.
Yeah.
It's not a coincidence that we invent almost everything that everyone uses in the world.
Yeah, but then it gets outsourced to China or Japan. It's made for a fraction of the cost.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these things aren't coincidences because it's a product not of who we are, but of the system that we allow to germinate over time.
Sure.
And so next time people want to hate on America, that's fine. And American exceptionalism may or may not exist. I don't really know. But I do know that, those blue jeans you're wearing are American. That Facebook you're on every day is American. That computer, that Apple is American. That Xbox is American. The movies that you're watching are American. The TV shows that you're watching are American. The music that you're listening to is American.
So you're saying the Xbox One is American?
Yes.
That's why it barely works. Xbox, turn on.
I want people to keep in context. Like, criticize us because we deserve it, but remember,
and there's plenty of reasons that we deserve it.
But remember all the things that we've given you to make your life better. And I'm not saying I didn't give you shit. You gave me
the show.
But our fathers and our forefathers, have given you great inventions, great things, and put great things into the world. And I feel like people forget about those things a lot. Just like I enjoy, British music sometimes, or German food, or I want to say Chinese food because that's not real Chinese food. But when I was in Japan, I really enjoyed the culture there and the food. It was awesome. I don't feel like we get a lot of credit for the things that we have done.
This all goes back to, I think, in a lot of ways, Colin, the fact that we are very proud of what we do and who we are. And I correct me if I'm wrong, and this would have to be something in the comments. Like, I don't think anybody really argues that we're the dominant superpower, right? We're the superpower, right? And it's the old Hillary Goldstein adage, right, that Coke doesn't talk shit on Pepsi. Pepsi talks shit on Coke. Everyone who's not number one is going to talk shit about it because
and Coke is definitely number one.
Are they? Or is really the bourbon is bulletproof? Whatever we can get for free. Coke's never going to give us anything for free.
Right. Yeah, Coke doesn't.
But I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's part of it, right? Like, everybody criticizes everybody. First off, everybody's a critic. Yada yada yada. You see that on the internet about everything. But it is easy. I think we take so much pride in who we are as a country and where we came from and what it is. Whether you and I had nothing to do with it, but you still feel that connection.
But we contribute to that every day. And again, it's not about like I hope to God one of us one day invents something as monumental as Facebook. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's not about that. It's about every day we come here and we try to do something like this, and we don't try to do it for the monetary aspect of it.
God no.
God no. We do it because we have fun and we want to put something great out into the world. Right, and we want to try to be better tomorrow than we were today. And to me, that's the American spirit. That's why our country, I hope, fingers crossed, as long as the majority of us continue to believe that way, will always succeed.
So other people don't do that?
Yes, other people do that. But what they don't have is they don't have the drive to come from thousands of miles away to this country because of that. And that's what makes us great. It's not the people that were born here. It's everyone that wants to be American that's not American that shows that motivation and comes over to this country and is like, I'm willing to work for it. I'm willing to kill for it. I'm willing to die for it. I'm willing to do a job that sucks just so my son can have a better life. And I know that happens in other countries, but we are the country that historically was known for allowing that to curate and cultivate. And that's what makes us fantastic.
Yeah, because people don't... It's true, because people don't understand the whole history of... the stratification of classes and what was going on in Europe at the time in the 19th century and how you can come here and be and it goes all the way back to the Mayflower and escaping things that were bad, escaping social persecution, about being in a caste system basically where you couldn't rise up and you couldn't be more than what you were born into. And there wasn't literal rules about that in Europe at the time, but there were implicit rules about that at the time in Europe where if you were born the son of a coal miner, that's what you were going to be, and like that's okay, but the United States was always about come over here, give us you're tired and you're weary and all that kind of stuff, and that represents America to me in a really great respect. Like a lot of people say, what speaks volumes about America, even though a lot of people hate it, is that we have 14 million of people that got into this country illegally and are afraid to leave. You know, that like are afraid to be removed. We have millions of people waiting in a line to get into this country. You can't really say that about a lot of other countries. You know, that where like people are desperate to get in, that will do anything to get in here. You know, and so. Should we be criticized for the things we've done in the past? Yes. Do we make mistakes all the time?
Should be criticized by a lot of things we're currently doing.
Do we have a lot of douchebags? Yep.
Yep. Do we have a lot of bravado?
4 of them
sure.
sitting right here.
But like, I just encourage people to, respect
Every Monday, GameOverGreggy.
I just encourage people to respect, like, when we, to understand the things we've given the world, and like that we made the world a better place, and that when you criticize in the United States, understand that not a lot of people think that we're superior by nature. We just think, in my opinion anyway, the system is superior. And
so
that's like what gives us the economy that we have. And that's what gives us the inventions and Silicon Valley and Wall Street.
When you say system, you mean the sort of environment we've curated to allow those kinds of things
right, like the
flourish.
entrepreneurial spirit. Like,
sure.
In the 1970s when computers were being invented basically only in the United States in a very specific area, that's not a coincidence. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a coincidence. Like that's because we nurtured that sort of spirit, with the space race, for instance, and all those things. These kids grew up with these things. They wanted to build computers. There wasn't like all of these countries from all over the world were building all of these computers in the 70s. It was Apple, and then it was Microsoft making software, and it was IBM,
right?
And Hewlett Packard and Dell and Compaq. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't mean that there aren't other countries or companies in other countries that were doing that thing. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that entrepreneurial spirit, we should be commended for that, because it's made the entire world better.
But I think that's the other problem, is where we have the thing that makes us greatest is also our greatest weakness, and that's the thing that opens up for so much criticism, is that we are super competitive to the point where we start going a little bit too far overboard with it, and we start abusing the system. You've got anything with Wall Street.
Here's my question about all this. Is the fact that we're saying all this stuff and our spirit and yada, 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 and that we're the superpower, but whenever you bring up the facts of education and reading comprehension, and we're always not...
We're like dead last.
Yeah, America's never great about that, right? Why is that the case?
Well, I think this is what a lot of people ignore, I think, when they talk about, like, why don't you have universal health care? It's not hard. Why don't you care for more people? Why don't you? It's because there are 315 million people in the United States.
Yeah, we got a big country.
There aren't 10 million people here. There aren't 15 or 50 or 100 million people. There are 315 million people in the United States.
It's a lot.
So, like, there's a,
there's
in
a
the
disparity.
middle, there's normal, like, smart, intelligent, people that can do. On the bottom, there are people that can't, and on the people the top, there are people that really excel and advance. But, like, those statistics are mixed together. Our education system sucks. There's no doubt about it. But it has produced. I'm not even being ironic. I'm not trying to be facetious about ourselves. Like, it produced people like us that are intelligent, normal, and have jobs, and went to college, and did all these things. Like, that's normal America, And I think we have this stigma of being stupid, but the things we give the world fly in the face of that stupidity.
Sure.
Because we live in San Francisco, right above basically the bastion, the hotbed of all sorts of tech inventions.
Yeah.
That happen nowhere else in the world.
Foursquare.
Yeah, Foursquare. Like a company like, it's not to say that there aren't tech companies in the rest of the world. It's just to say, like, you won't find a stretch from San Jose to San Francisco with more of that.
So what's up with Japan? Like, I say that.
What's up with Japan?
Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking
about. Japan's awesome.
Like,
that's what's up.
No, but I feel like all this tech and invention stuff. I feel
Japan
like
had that
when
dominant
I think
time.
Inventions, electronic stuff. I think Japan. I don't think America at all.
Well, yeah, Japan. No, I mean, Japan has its own thing going on. Japan has a vibrant. Not so much anymore, but tech company.
Sure.
South Korea has a very vibrant tech company.
Or
tech sector. Japan itself, I don't think evolved quickly enough, because Japan is very much about, especially in business, about honor and about,
we threw that out the window a long time ago. America.
But
Wolf of Wall Street in theaters now.
Oh God, it's so good.
Like, for instance, the thing I was thinking about, and I've talked about it with Greg before, is like one of the most symbolic things I ever saw out of Japan from business was when PlayStation Network went down. And in the United States, if something like that went down, there would be a press conference and there would be press releases and all this kind of stuff. In Japan, Kaz Hirai and the rest of the Sony executives got on a stage and bowed for 60 seconds or something like that. Yeah. That's it. Like,
well, they talked too. There was, there were videos.
Like, that's what they got on stage.
That was their first thing they did.
That's the first thing they did. They got on stage and just bowed, and just camera flashes going on because they were ashamed.
Yeah.
Business is different there. It was personal.
Yeah, so we wouldn't do any make goods. We wouldn't do it. We would just have a conference, apologize, like through eyes that didn't really give it.
We've let down our consumers, and we want to make sure it never happens.
Sorry about that. And then we'd find some way. We'd try to find a way to make that
Here's a
beneficial
free egg
financially
McMuffin.
for us.
And there's something to be said about the way they did that. I mean, I have so much respect for Japanese culture. And the way they do business in Japan, and how it's like, you're a lifer at a company, and they respect you, and they respect your family, and they respect the product. In the United States, it's a little faster, it's a little different. That's about money. And that's not right, and that's not wrong, but it's about money in the United States.
No, it's always about money.
But that's why
money makes the world turn.
So that's just the way it is.
Why we do this.
So anyway, that's just how I want to talk a little bit about American exceptionalism, because
I like it. This is a good topic.
It's something I think is really interesting, and I feel like I understand. Like, I love a country like Canada, right? I love Canada.
I have a lot of friends in Canada,
and not only because of hockey. Like, I love hockey, but I love But I love Canada.
I love maple syrup too.
Tilt your mic back.
I love red and white.
I love Canada. Like, I like going there. I used to play hockey there when I was younger,
Sure.
and I.
But you played hockey in Canada.
Yeah, in Quebec.
Cool. That's cool.
And like
it's cool. I've never played hockey in Quebec.
cool.
Have you played hockey in Quebec? Quebecian hockey?
No.
Okay.
No.
But I always really
Played soccer in Riverside, California.
I played that in Costa Rica once.
AYSO. Soccer.
Yeah.
We'll
I was
talk
on the
about
Olympic team. No, I've never played soccer in my life. You kidding me?
just the great Costa Rica Olympics.
I'm sorry. Can you continue?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I
Great Costa Rican Olympics.
1988. But I feel like when we go to Canada, or when Canadians, like, some people talk very disparagingly about the United States, even in Canada, and I'm like, we're kindred. Like,
Yeah.
we're like, I love your country.
It's
And,
because
like,
to us, Canada
you're
is like,
basically the United States.
Canada is like the little brother that does
now you're
better
offending
at
people.
everything that we kind of resent a little bit, in my opinion. They're like the little brother. They're slightly shorter, better looking, and they just do things a little bit more efficiently than we do. And we're just like, God damn it, why couldn't we have been a little brother? That's my opinion on Canada.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, everyone I've met from Canada is just so even keel and cool.
Yeah, Canadians are very
And they
cool.
just love their country, and they don't feel the need to constantly vehemently defend it like we do in America. We're like,
well, because
America's amazing.
They're not oft under attack. They're under attack in facetious ways. Sometimes we make fun of them.
Yeah, because
But,
you
like-
always poke fun at the guys that have their shit together.
Right, but like, but
Like
I
Tim,
guess
I poke fun at him. Look at him. He's all look at his hair. It's perfect.
Oh man, I look beautiful and I got a girlfriend. I'm
My
Tim,
hair is so
everybody.
good. I spent time in
I'm
Austin.
the
It was
Canada of this
wonderful.
table.
I enjoyed barbecue.
Canada? I'm not the Canada.
You are the
Yeah.
Canada of this
I don't
table.
want to be Canada.
But yeah, that's how I feel about American exceptionalism. I think we deserve and warrant and earn more respect. And doesn't mean you have to like us. Doesn't mean you have to like what we do. But you have to kind of acknowledge what we've done.
I think it's
Yeah.
just one of those things where I don't know that you can overgeneralize it too much. I think we do. I hope that we do more good for the world than we do bad.
We absolutely do. Just the
I
very
hope-
invention
I
of
hope
the
that we
medicines
do.
we made, or the computers
And
we've
see-
invented,
see,
or all those things of like.
The thing that I
Sure.
think you get hung up on, right, when you're talking about American exceptionalism or America in general, right, is the fact that all the stuff we're hanging our hats on, all these amazing things, the Founding Fathers, Republic, Mayflower, all that stuff, computers even to an extent, right, feel like they happened forever ago. And now you talk about Obama and Bush, and then like Clinton, unemployment was super down and yada, 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 and national debt and stuff. But since then, right, like it seems like there's always negative news coming out of us. And I think that's one of the reasons it's easy to hate on us, right?
Yeah, I think Iraq brought a lot of bad feelings to the fore for rightful reasons. I think
Sure.
we were absolutely wrong to go. I think Europeans were actually, England helped us and stuff, but most Europeans were right about being opposed to that war. I agree. I think there's political reasons to not like us. I'm just saying on practical reasons, like Americans and Europeans or Chinese people or Japanese people or Koreans or Africans or whatever, very similar to each other in many respects, share the same goals of wanting to make a better life for their families.
Mm-hmm.
They enjoy their friends. They enjoy their families. They love their kids. They work. They do all those kinds of things. Like, we're not so different after all, but I feel like there has to be like some sort of respect, like I said, of the system. And I'm not saying the government. I'm not saying any of those things. Just whatever it is here that allowed us to do what we've done in such a short amount of time, to become
Sure.
so prolific. It's not an accident.
Yeah.
And that's American.
But it's not,
that is
it's not
American
divine
exceptionalism.
intervention either. It's not like divine providence.
No, it's just that our founders stumbled on something that was not stumbled upon by anyone else,
Yeah.
and has been oft mimicked since. But I think that the system kind of speaks for itself, especially in the 20th century.
Yeah.
All the great things we did in the 20th century, getting involved in wars that some we shouldn't have got involved in, a lot we really helped save, the system around the world, as we know, when we fought the Nazis and the Japanese, for instance. Others we were boondoggles, like Korea and Vietnam. There are reasons to not like us. We used napalm in Vietnam. We used nuclear bombs in Japan. Like, there are things that we're much maligned for.
Yeah.
But I feel like people ignore the positive that we've fed the hungry, give money to poor countries, send our doctors over to other countries to take care of business.
Honestly, the reason people think that though is because those things are so easily dismissed. Like you don't really see the effects of those because it's long term, right? When you feed the hungry, that takes a long time to affect change. Whereas you drop a nuclear bomb on something, that's an instantaneous reaction. That's an instantaneous negative effect that ripples throughout the world. And it's so easy. It's always easier to look at the negative, right? It's always easier to spot out something that someone did wrong than did right. It's like they have this old saying that if you're in production, talking about going back to post-production, we've come full circle now, that as an editor, if you've done your job right, no one ever notices. But if you do it wrong, you get pointed at, right? So and
like the long snapper. Mm-hmm. The only time you ever hear about a long snapper on a football team is when he fucks up. I forget who it was. There was some famous long snapper who fucked up, and that was his quote that I remember on like some retrospective, right? Of like, I never wanted people to know my name because if they knew my name, that meant I fucked up.
Screwed up. Yeah, it's true.
This is all crazy to me.
It's a good episode.
Yeah, this is good.
This is a great episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the Game Over Greggy Show. This is what we do every Friday if you go to Bandcamp, which is, of course, GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com, or Monday if you go to GameOverGreggy.com. We get together, 4 best friends, and talk about whatever comes to our head. So we have 4 topics, and then there's a lot of asides in there, a lot of threads we chase to the end of the blanket.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, during this, I had a random thought. Isn't it weird that dinosaurs were a real thing?
Yeah.
They sound like
that
bullshit.
is weird.
Yeah. No, they sound like monsters.
Do you want to know what something is weirder? Is that evangelical Christians that believe in creationism suggest that dinosaurs are only 5,000 years old.
I thought they said they never existed, or they just don't believe in evolution.
Side by side with humans.
Men, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So fucking sleep on that, Tim.
Yeah. So
it'd be great if Tim's
basically
like,
what
I'm
Tim's saying is
a creationist. Stands up, leaves.
Tim would legitimately. You would be the first person in line for Jurassic Park if it were a real thing. I think.
Maybe not the first. Let's just end this show.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Game Over Greggy Show. Of course, we've gone through 4 topics, many more. We'd like to know what you think. Let us know in the comments. Then make sure you come back every day to GameOverGreggy.com for a nerdy conversation. And until next time, have a conversational day.
America.
Fuck yeah! Tim Allen, the most American.
We didn't do it in one of them.
Yeah,
people
people
missed
yelled
it.
at us.
Yeah, people got pissed.
People yelled at us. No, in one episode we didn't do the.
We didn't do it.
Like, where was the Tim Allen grunt?
Awesome.
So there you go.
You're welcome.
We gotta get Tim Allen on this show.
Oh man.
Sure we
That would
could.
be amazing.